You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
All right, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Couch Brotatos.
Yeah.
No more bars, but I'm Alex
Morrison.
And we're on video this week, ladies and gentlemen, 2 angles. And we have our first guest for season 3. We've talked about this shop a couple times on the podcast, and we're very happy to have Brad from CRAZY Cool Collectables with us. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, there goes your angle.
We're going to stick with one camera angle today. What kind of made you want to do this spot? Because you said you started out doing, what, hot dogs before?
I mean, I'm like Forrest Gump. I've done so much shit.
Well, what led you? Well, then what led you here?
You guys don't know about me.
No, there's a ton we don't know. So let's dig in and learn about the lore.
So my first job was at a hot dog place called Wiener Take All.
Fucking solid.
First
Love
job.
that.
I was 15 years old, and that was like as soon as I learned to work, I didn't want to do anything else. Like I was playing drums, so like. You know, I just started high school. You're meeting people, but like I always kind of did my own shit. So
Right.
as soon as I realized like I'm good at working, that's all I ever did.
Right.
I used to ditch high school on a daily basis to go to work. Most kids were ditching to get high and shit. I went to go to work.
I figured you were ditching to like read comics or watch horror movies.
Nope. I would go to work. So we would do like crazy business in this little place. He like sponsored schools and shit like that. And so yeah, that was like my upbringing. I learned freaking everything from that guy. And then a couple doors down was a pizza place. So
Okay.
I ended up working at both places. So literally I was working 80, 90 hours a week. And like, you know, everyone, you're going to burn out. I'm like, no, I'm not. So I literally did that all throughout high school. I killed it. But I also did eBay. So that was like, I discovered buying and selling stuff. I would literally go, like, this is the kind of shit I would do. I would go and buy, I was an 18-year-old senior, so I would go and buy cartons of cigarettes, and then
Yes, I did the same.
and then sell them. Well, but back then they weren't. I mean, they were like $4 a pack,
Yeah.
you know. So, but I'd sell them for like $10 a pack because these little fiends would just pay anything. Yeah, so I did that. I also had like a whole entire underground, like test scores and homework kind of operation.
No shit.
That I totally mastermind. It was a couple of buddies, but it would be like on the regular. If you didn't do your homework or whatever, we'd have the answers. It was like a mafia ring. It was pretty nuts. That was when I was actually like at school active. But so yeah, that was the job. That's all I did. Day and night. That's all I cared about, hoarding money.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't do anything.
Stack that cash.
But that's when I did discover, what was it? It was Power Rangers. So Power Rangers, 1995, 96. That was the first thing. Yeah. That was the first thing that I'm like, obviously it was like the stupidest thing ever, but awesome at the same time. Like everyone's like, this is so stupid.
Well, the theme song's all metal. So
Oh, dude. Well, you know who plays guitar in it?
It's
It's Buckethead.
yeah.
No shit.
It's Buckethead.
No.
Oh, yeah. That's his riff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He does that, and the guy from Aerosmith does Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got into and to back up a little bit too, my stepdad came into our lives when I was 6. So I grew up with him. When he moved in our house, he filled the attic with all these freaking bins, like a million of them. And one day I went up snooping in there. So my stepdad had like 4 of everything Star Wars.
Hell yeah.
Knew all the original stuff, like literally.
Wow.
So he had this huge collection. And he never wanted to do anything with it. He just wanted to keep it. So I started buying Power Rangers, and I didn't play with stuff. I put it on the wall. Like I always wanted like a museum in my room for whatever reason. Like I always loved it.
Wanted your room to look like a store.
Kinda. No, but I also I had like, you know, I was balling back then. So I bought a little leather couch and like had a really badass Sony Trinitron TV and like had my first sound system, like a movie theater in my room. Like, you know, But I was a toy collector too. So like my wall was fucking covered with Power Rangers, basically.
So that was like the first nerdy thing. You were just
Yes.
like, I need it all.
I did have all of it. Like literally all the original stuff I still have. It's all in the package. It's in my bedroom right now.
I love that.
And that just like blossomed from there. So that was, and then that led, going off on a tangent, but that led
No
that led to McFarlane. So that's when
Spawn toys and stuff like that.
no, actually the horror shit.
Oh, okay.
So like the Lost Souls and I just thought they were fucking awesome. Just like all the crazy detail. Like these were some of my first ones. Like they had the 18-inch. Mm-hmm. So those two guys and those two guys, those are some of the first ones that I bought. And this is back in the day when at Spencer's when they were like $10, right? So, and that's where most of my stuff, came from. Like my Shorty Killer Clowns from Outer Space figure that's worth like $500. I paid $9 on clearance, back in the day. But it was just cool. And then and I loved horror obviously. So then it just became like an obsessity. Like, and I had nothing but money, so I just literally spent it all on toys, pretty much.
I love that though. No, and I love hearing that though, because when you were saying it's like I want my room to kind of almost be like a museum where just I had all this sugar.
Yeah.
I 100% related to that because I had certain toys and figures. Of course, I had to rip it open and play with it in position on the thing, but there were more toys that had to stay on the card back, plastered up on the wall. I had an entire wall covered with like card stock, like Star Wars figures at one point. And there was all the green backed ones that are all like $2 a piece now.
Yep.
But no, I had a full collection of that. And it was simply I liked being able to sit in my room and just like look at all of it and be like, I own all this shit. And it's like, and I knew that was probably a bad thing growing up, and that mom like didn't say no to that because she was a record collector.
Right.
So like anytime I was like, I want toys, or like when Pokemon came out, oh no, she was not the anti-Pokemon mom. She was like, oh, it's a thing for you to collect?
That's
okay, awesome. I understand this. Here, take it all. Have all this shit.
That's awesome. That's kind of like, well, that's because my stepdad was a collector. Like,
right.
I hear about it every day when people are like, man, I had this and my mom threw it away. Like, my mom would never throw anything away, like, ever. So, yeah.
What was the things he was collecting?
The Star Wars.
Okay, got it, yeah.
He sold his entire collection to a guy for crazy amount of money a long time ago, and probably about 20 years ago. Wow. He wishes he didn't, because honestly, for me, basically, like, it would have been so cool. We probably would have had like a museum, like, with all of his pieces.
Oh yeah.
Like, he literally had everything. It was nuts. But he still has like a few things and whatever. When I got the Star Wars stuff in today, he geeked out and came over and took a look at it. So he's not like a collector, but it's always in.
It's just still there.
It's always in there. Yeah, you just want to look and see what's there.
And well, since we're kind of in that time period and we kind of touched on Star Wars, so you were saying like 95, 96 is when you really delved into the Power Ranger stuff. Mm-hmm. Right around that time period is when they're starting to do the reissues and special editions, and that's when those green and red back toys came out. Were you going on the hunt to find certain ones to try to flip by that point?
I'm going to blow your mind right now. Never
up?
Seen any of those movies.
You've yet to watch any of the Star Wars movies?
Just the first three.
Well, those are the only ones that truly matter. Those are the only ones that truly matter.
I never.
Caravan of Courage.
It just kind of passed me. That's the thing. I'm not like a. Well, people are shocked. Like when you're like I'm like comic book guy. Like I'm supposed to be into Star Wars. I'm not in. Like Star Wars is cool. Like I get it and everything, but I'm not. I don't really care that much. But yeah, I've never seen any like all those characters. When I see these toys that come in here, I don't know who half the hell these people are. Anakin and all this shit. I don't know who these people are. I don't Sith and stuff. I don't, and I don't pretend to. Like I never got into it. Same with Marvel. So
yeah,
I have seen like 3 Marvel movies in my entire life. Mm-hmm. It's not that I don't like it. It's just it's never been like I just don't care. I don't know, and I never.
No, and I think there is so much validity to that because I feel like there is a certain type of fan this day that feels like they have to like all of it.
Yeah, no.
I'm not down for that.
I get it. Like, again, I get the appreciation of the toys, of any toy. Like, a badass Spider-Man toy, which is, like, all the articulation. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
But, like, how many fucking Spider-Man... Like, I saw the first one.
Yeah.
Right? How many... There's, like, 5, and they're all... And then, like, all the Spider-Mans come in one movie. Who the fuck fuck? Like I don't get that shit, dude.
I think right now there's 8.
Yeah.
And all different actors? What the? That's
No,
insane.
you had the first 3 with Tobey Maguire.
Okay,
Then you
so-
had the other 2 with Andrew Garfield, aka Cool Spider-Man.
Right.
And then you had the most recent one, which was MCU Tom Holland. And the very last movie on that, all right, here comes the nerd time. This is when Doctor Strange accidentally opens up a rift in space-time, and the other 2 Spider-Man come in there, and they have a whole bunch of meme moments where they're pointing at each other.
And who's
doing
Miles
everything.
Morales? That's another, right?
That's the
later on.
Yeah, that's a new generation.
I know because of the toys.
Spider-Man.
That's literally how I live my life based on the toys. So
The way the true canon is now, the spider that bit Peter Parker, when he swiped it away, it crawled over to Miles Morales and gave him a little nibble too.
all right.
That's the way the story.
I don't.
goes
That's
now.
the thing. I don't hate on it. I don't shit on it. I never read. I don't read. If someone told me to read something when I was a kid, I'd be like, I'm out. So I was not
go
about.
work. I
I'm
got
not
to
about
read.
comic books. Oh, yeah, no. That's yeah. So like, it's weird because I'm not normally someone who owns something like this. You're
Right.
like, but I'm not. Like I was into sports cards when I was a kid.
My dad got into those, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like a master. It's like someone could bring in like 89 tops. I could smell the cardboard and I know exactly what it is. Like I'm that crazy. But that was my shit. And then, yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. But then it more is about like the personal stuff. So if you came in my house, the first thing you do when you walk in, I got 12-foot ceilings and my entire wall is top to ceiling all toys,
Right.
like action figures, and it's all stuff that I relate to. That So here's a great thing. When people are freaked out that I've never seen Game of Thrones before. Okay, so never seen one.
seen it
Never
either.
seen one episode. This was during Walking Dead, which I'm super gay for, and so I didn't do that. And Breaking Bad and all that stuff. But the real reason I've never watched an episode of that shit is because when they started announcing the toys for that thing, and like the statues, I was like, I'm gonna go broke if I actually watch this fucking show because these things are phenomenal. Like I never seen shit like that in my life. Like the ice dude or whatever, and like the
Yeah.
chair and all that shit.
The articulation and intricacy on those were amazing.
I think it's PCS made the 1/4 statues.
Yeah.
There are so many of them. I'm like, I'm not watching this fucking show. Because honestly, I probably spent $20,000-$30,000 easily on Walking Dead shit, like over time.
Really?
I mean, I had to have everything and anything. I have Walking Dead. So I loved Walking Dead.
So with Walking, were you a fan of primarily the comics, or was it even
Remember, I
the
don't read.
show? Okay, well, I didn't know if it was a thing of like, well, I'd like the comic is a little different. I can buy the omnibus.
No.
and-
No, because I own some comics that are like graded that are like really cool, but
Yeah.
I would not literally. I don't read. I've never read a book in my life. Like
Okay.
it's a running
so
joke.
it really
with anyone
was
who
the
knows me.
AMC show.
Yeah, no. Plus, I hated like my one friend's like, I know what's gonna happen. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like I hate that shit, you know. So
Turns out that never happened.
a lot of it. Yeah, right. No, but I just remember it being me and my friends were in Chicago. I had a really badass home theater in my basement because I used to work in audio video, and we used to every Sunday night it was like Walking Dead, Dexter. I forgot what else.
That's another show that went off the rails. From its fun with the books.
Yeah, which is making I don't know. I get whatever, but no, I wasn't really like a zombie guy. Like I don't know. Like I could adapt to anything, but
Yeah.
we had to watch that first episode, and it was like after that, I like was freaking hooked. And
We had a watch party on the first episode. Me and my buddies. We got out of class early. We went to the store, bought a bunch of stuff, and we had our first apartment.
nice.
This is right out of because like you, senior year of high school, I had 2 jobs and we hit every fucking fair.
Awesome.
Every tobacco fair. Because down here, that's all there is, tobacco fairs, and get free samples of whatever cigarette product Winston or Doral was kicking that day. So,
Doral.
That's amazing.
R.J. Reynolds and Philip Morris. And so, like, for every Marlboro fan, there was a Doral person. For every Winston fan, there was an L&M person.
Yep.
Like, I used to grab, like, bagfuls of, like, tobacco products, mainly dip and stuff, because that was the cheaper stuff. And you go back to school, because our teachers, because we're in the FFA, they're like, hey, take that shit straight to your car. Shut the fuck up.
And share it with us later. Yeah.
But like the teachers were grabbing shit too, and like the fair guys were always the same. They're just like, "Hey, young man, what do you like?" And I'd lie. I'd be like, "I'm a wintergreen guy," because that was the top product I was selling. Because you could get rolls back in, like cartons. You could get rolls for like $5.
It's funny that it's just so coming back to that it's like.
But working
Just-
2 jobs, I could understand.
No, just it's like the differences of like you grew up here, right?
Yeah.
And like I grew up in Illinois in the freaking Jewish burbs, right? So it's just like it's so weird the totally different lifestyles and but then it's like come together and it's I don't know.
It's all the same yet it's so different.
Yeah, it's just crazy here. Like that's where we come from. Like anything of that is like right away we're like redneck, white trash, right? That kind of thing. But it's like it's not. It's really not. And we did the same shit. We were just a little more privileged. That's all it really was.
It's all the fucking like you talk about audio visual. I grew up in a fucking video store, dude. So like,
no, it's just funny hearing that. Like, yeah, like just picturing it.
But like you were talking about like putting stuff on your walls. I was a movie poster guy because I made friends with guys who were in school who worked at the movie theater.
Yeah,
brand spanking new movie theater. So
I know you like the posters. Of course.
Yeah, but like I would get the full length, the big movie posters that they would put on
44 by like 22 or something.
Yeah, they're
was
fucking
like the
massive.
standard
You couldn't
ones.
get frames at the time unless you went to a framer, and then Walmart started selling them. I'm just like, yeah. But no, I would get. I had eclectic ones. I had like Balls of Fury next to like an original Texas Chainsaw, and then I would have like.
That sounds fantastic.
I would have like what was it? Was it Revenge of the Fallen Transformers movie?
Yeah.
Next to Hot Rod. The movie Hot Rod with Adam
I know the
Sandler.
movie Hot Rod.
Oh god! Yeah. And like those would be like my things on my wall. And
Balls of Fury, man. God,
and when I moved out, I took all my posters with me, and I lived in a nice house in Kannapolis, and I put them up, and every delivery guy would poke their fucking head in and then like, can I see some of your stuff? I'm like, come in, man.
Yeah.
Because it would look like a movie theater wall.
Just be like, this counts as your
I
tip.
love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
And I used to get the Loot Crate boxes back when they were actually had good shit in them.
Yeah.
And I would always send a delivery guy home with something.
That's
I gave him
cool.
the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that came in the Loot Crate because I'm a Ghostbusters fan, but not that big of a fan.
See, no, I'm definitely a.
But I gave him. I'm like, hey man, you like Ghostbusters? Because we had a Ghostbusters puzzle we were putting together, and we were going to frame it, of course.
Yep.
Because you're not going to do it again.
No,
that's a waste of time.
Plus, you need to be proud of the work you put into it.
Right? So we had that one.
Yeah, don't get me started on puzzles. Yeah.
So like we had that, and he's like, is that a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? I'm like, fuck yeah, it is. Here you go. Like I understand what you're talking about. When it's like, I didn't want to go to school for a while my senior year because I could have graduated early and I could have went to work, and I had 2 jobs.
I did graduate early, so I think I have a semester early.
Last name.
Oh,
ours is alphabetical order.
Oh yeah.
So when you choose classes your senior year, it's alphabetical order.
Well, in Illinois, I don't know if it. So that you're brought up to believe that you have to have 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 4 years of science. When in reality, you only need 2 years of science and 2 years of math to graduate. But they don't fucking tell you that, unless you plan on not going to college, which they don't tell you that. But I knew I wasn't going.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up ditching gym like on a daily basis.
Gym.
That's a whole nother story. I almost got in a fist fight with one of the gym teachers.
They always want to fight kids.
Well, I used to like. What was my crowning achievement? I used to fuck with this guy. So I was 18 years old. So that was the thing. They call my mom and she'd go, he's 18. Like, I don't know why you're calling me. I don't give a shit. Like, literally, that was my mom. So this one guy, I'll never remember his name, but I know he was way shorter than me, and he was a fucking gym teacher, right? Typical. And I just remember he'd always be like, so my last name's Kamikoff, he'd always go, Kamikoff. And I'd be like, shut the fuck up, man. You can't talk to me like that. I'm like, I just fucking did, you know. And then we're in like
I can see this conversation going like a Way Out American Summer. You can't talk to me like, shut the fuck up, Todd.
Dude, yeah, seriously. And you're talking a whole entire what do they call it? Something house, like where the field house.
Yeah.
A whole field house with fucking hundreds of kids in there. All of them hearing it, laughing their asses off. So the one time is when he told me to stand up, and then I said, all right, everybody, buckle your seatbelts. We're going on a power trip. And he fucking, everyone was dying. He lost his fucking mind, you know, grabbed me. I'm like, get your fucking, like John Bender, get your fucking hands off me. Yeah, that was like my big,
horns, man.
oh, for sure. And they actually pulled my mom had my mom come in for like a meeting one time. They're like, we can't have your son like misbehave like that. And they're like, then don't have him in gym. Like, at least she didn't care.
Yeah.
But so I used to ditch gym like all the time. So they had me make it up to graduate. So my senior year was English and then 3 gyms.
Hell yeah.
And then I went to work. And that's how I graduated with C's and D's, because my mom didn't care, I didn't care. I knew I was going to work.
Yeah. You're like, I am a laborer.
Here I didn't go to college.
I didn't either.
I tried it for like a week, junior college, and I'm like, and actually I went for food service, so it was cool. You did, really?
God damn it. God damn it, man.
Because I knew I wanted to run a restaurant, right? Yeah. And at the time I was working at a pizza place.
I didn't want to be in food service. I got into it by accident.
Well, I knew whatever I was in, I fucking killed and succeeded, right?
Same.
So that, right. So I always took it to the max. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to college, but I'll go to junior college, take some of these classes. You know, it was like $700 for a semester, and I took these classes, and they were cool. They were like menu planning was one of the things, and like we'd go on field trips to the local. But then it was like, then I started getting homework. And I'm like, all right, this is fucking school. Like I'm not doing it. Yeah, so I ended up not doing it. My mom, coolest mom ever, was like, don't go to school. Like, do what you want to do. It's just as long as you do something. So, and that's when I was working like 1 million hours a week.
And see, and that's where I can kind of relate with you. Mom was always trying to teach me. She's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? I was not good at math. The only thing I was halfway decent at was science, but she's just like, you're not going to sit there and like read a book long enough to actually prevail in anything within the science field. So she taught me early on sales because she was always in sales.
That's cool.
So she was like, if you ever fail at shit, as long as you can sell an ice cube to an Eskimo, you will survive. So it's like, I never went to college, any of that either, and that's why I immediately fall back to loving just the commerce and the collecting and just any of that stuff. That's why that it all just comes back to that for me at the end of the day.
But you get it. That's why we're friends, because you get it. Though it's about, like, sales are not, like, I hate that shit. Sales, it's just being real.
Yeah, it's knowing how to sell yourself.
It's not even, I hate even using that word. Like, I'm not, like, I was a top salesman, and, so when I quit the job I was at, Gino's East Pizza Place, unless I own the place, I'm as big as I can be. I was the manager, making, 30 grand a year or whatever, but then I did the banquets, so I booked the banquets. Then I was the server and bartender and busboy at the banquet. I did it all myself. Kept all the tips.
Yeah. It sounds like you at the food service
right.
job.
Yeah. So I mean,
all mine's an accident. All mine's an accident.
Well, so while everybody else is making 20, 30, I was making like 100 grand a year, like at 21 years old.
Wow.
Because I was fucking, working 1 million hours.
Your ass.
Yeah, right. So it was like, all right, what do I want to do now? And then it was like, I really, I'm like, maybe I'll go to like a real restaurant, because, I didn't really consider it. It was like a family friend that I worked for, and like, maybe I'll go somewhere that has bigger opportunities or whatever. And then I'm going around, and like, they're offering me like 40 grand starting and like plus bonus and all this shit. And I'm like, and you got to dress up nice. And I'm like, this fucking isn't for me. So my stupid friends, we were in a band, were like, dude, go work at Guitar Center. I've shopped there my whole entire life. And I'm like, okay, so you want me to go from this to working at Guitar Center? Like, no, that's not happening. So I kept getting rejected everywhere, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. And I don't know what came over me, but I quit my job and I started working at Guitar Center. And they told me, like, I remember sitting down, the first thing, and they're like, most guys here make commission, and they make 20 grand a year as a typical. And I'm like, all right. Well, I had a little confidence in myself. So after the first year, I became the top salesman in the entire fucking company, over 8,000 people. And I was making, I think I made 150 grand that year. And that was, it was nuts, because they sat me down and they were like, district manager, I thought I was going to get fired or some shit.
Right.
And they're like, your numbers are double the number 2 person in the company.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it was like, that shit fired me up. And I like ran that motherfucker. But that was like, that's where I realized that I'm like, really, that's when I started learning I'm good at buying and selling, and I'm good at, and like, people would line up just to, like, people just wanted to come and see me, and like, all you had to do is just take care of people and like call them back, and I wouldn't let anybody leave unless I got their info or found out what they wanted, or it was just like natural to me. And like,
well, you also have that kind of personality, and that's part of the reason why, Chris and I just love immediately coming back. One, yes, you have an amazingly curated store, but two, you do have that personality that's like exactly what your sign says. It's like, by, trip 2, you're not friends, you're family,
right,
whether you like it or not, type shit. Because you have that inviting thing to you. You're an awesome guy.
Well, thank you. It's weird. I don't consider that. It's weird saying, obviously, but that's for whatever reason. I still don't understand to this day when people just want to come here and freaking talk to me and hang out with me. It's weird. Anyway, but that was the success. Was like every morning I would wake up and have like emails, texts, like, dude, I want to do a trade. Do I want to do this? And it was like, I'd go to the mall and people would be like, Mom, that's a guy from Guitar Center. I was like a freaking celebrity. It was
wow.
It was awesome.
Okay.
And I was killing it. I was making great money. Plus, I had like carte blanche to anything. So literally any kind of band that was, so our store was literally like 2 miles away from Allstate Arena, which is like the big arena in Chicago.
Right.
all I have to do is make a phone call. I'm backstage, hanging out with the band, like whatever, anytime,
so
whenever. If there was a signing at one of the stores, I'd make a phone call. Store manager would get a guitar signed from me, send it over. Like, it was pretty badass. It was like a rock star life.
That's awesome.
So I ultimately got fired. So that was
Are you allowed to disclose why?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
What did you
They've
do?
got so many lawsuits against They have so many lawsuits against them. It's not even funny. So, and I even still have, well, we'll get into that later. But no one really knows why. There's always speculation, right? And people literally freaked out because they're like, how did you fire like the top salesman? Like, you know, I used to say shit like, you know, hey, do you guys like being able to see things? That's because the lights are on. That's because of me. So, you know, that was me, obviously. So, literally, the one store manager, so they'd have this store was like the flagship store in Illinois. So like when you moved up as like a store manager, you go to this store and then you go to big time.
Okay.
So we were always rotating store managers every couple of years. So this one store manager was like real hardcore, and he was just like super. I hate to say Nazi, but I'll say it. I'm Jewish. Anyway,
It's a trendy thing right now.
No,
He's very fascist.
he was. Yeah. No, he was. You know, he was,
giving his heart out to people.
he was Elon,
Yeah. His heart
he
went
was
out to a
Elon
bunch
Musk.
of people.
No, so
Kanye's his favorite
he
artist.
was, yeah, he was a stickler. He was a stickler for the rules, which I followed none of them. So and it
That's
was
what his Nazis are, man.
well, right.
Got to have sticklers for rules.
No,
man.
right.
It's worse than cops.
Yeah, I never really thought about it like that. But you're right.
There's some hard news, motherfucker.
So yeah, that's the thing is I would literally not do anything they would tell me to do, but I did better than everybody else. So in my brain, I guess arrogantly, not really, but I was like what, like literally, this is what you guys at corporate level are saying to do, but I'm literally telling you no, and I'm doing way more business than everybody else. So maybe
Follow the money.
Maybe y'all should listen to me. Like just saying, right?
Just throw it out there.
Yeah, so there was so many questionable things, and we butted heads, and then ultimately they came up with some bullshit and fired me for I don't even fucking know what. At the end of the day, but yeah, they had like the loss prevention guy. It literally was like not to get into this whole convoluted thing. Guitar centers use gear,
right?
And you take in used gear, and so a customer would come in the door like with let's say a Les Paul guitar,
Right.
They would leave their case up there'd always be like a girl or somebody up at the front to check your shit in. So they'd leave a case up at the front. They wouldn't let you bring the case in because for theft and stuff like that. So you leave your case at the front, come down to the counter, and you go see the salesperson. I want to buy this guitar. So a lot of times what would happen is you'd buy the guitar, but then you just in communication forget that they'd forget to tell you there was a case. You didn't ask. So you bought the guitar as a used guitar, but never really said it came with a case, okay? Where it's not like it would give it more money, but it's like it's a piece of inventory.
Right.
So these cases would get left up there. So what I cleverly would do is I would buy them in for a penny, like a Gibson Les Paul case is $200,
Yeah.
okay? I would buy it in for a penny and literally tag it at $100 as a used case. Well, from a penny to $100 is a lot of commission.
Oh, yeah.
So that was me being a fucking genius, right? So I would do that, and then, or in the case when someone would be like, "Man, I'd really like a case. Like, if you could throw in a case, like I'll close this deal." Like, fuck yeah. Well, I'll give you this one. I got a penny built into it, right?
Yeah.
Genius. Okay, these are the genius things I did.
And it's product that people are leaving behind.
Correct. So there's no right. So what happened was when they did a count. So when you have all the guitars, when you're at a Guitar Center and all the guitars are on the wall, they have their original boxes and their cases are in the box in the back on a shelf.
Right.
Not organized fucking whatsoever. Everyone steals shit from every case. Paul the Peter, whatever. You need a tremolo arm. You take it from whatever fucking case. Right.
Right.
Well, when they did their inventory count, they claimed that I took a case that was actually in inventory and gave it to a customer.
Oh God.
Which there is absolutely it's some bullshit.
They're trying to find any reason.
There you go. After 7 years, the top fucking salesman, that's the most bullshit thing ever. So I literally took my BlackBerry that they gave me, I threw it against the wall. I said, "You can fucking send me the bill for that shit." I took off my Guitar Center shirt. Here you fucking go. Guess what? I don't fucking care. Like, fuck you guys. That was literally what it was. And then literally that's what Yelp had just started. So the Yelp reviews on you can probably look at them now too in that store. They're shit talking up the wazoo.
And
who
you started
who
the
the
chain.
fuck fires the top guy and all that shit. Yes, that was fucking crazy. So after that, I was like, yeah, I'm a badass. But then really, it like sunk in, like, holy shit, what the fuck am I gonna do?
I don't have a job now.
Right, which is this has never happened to me before.
And you're how old at this point?
I would have been 26, 7.
Ooh,
something
that
like
is
that.
a big shift
Well,
at that point.
I owned a house that had a $3,000 mortgage. I had a Mercedes. I was fucking living it up. So,
yeah.
but I'd also, over the years, I've won every goddamn contest there was. So they'd have contests every month for salespeople. They hated me because they knew I fucking won everything. So I had so many goddamn iPads and guitars and a fuck ton of shit that I ended up selling. That helped me stay afloat. But and I was still doing eBay at the time. So I'm like, I was kind of living it up. But then it was like, okay, I probably need to get a job sometime. So this place that used to, they're an everything kind of store. They do $1 billion in sales a year. They sell literally everything, mostly appliances and electronics, but mattresses, luggage. The place is fucking insane. Huh. It's a staple of Chicago. They've been around since the 30s. So everyone there was my customer.
Yeah.
Like everyone there, DJs, guitar players, they all came there and they were all my customers. So everyone reached out to me because this is when Facebook had just started. So I had this post out that said, hey, I just got fired today from Guitar Center, and it like went viral, right? People are like, this has got to be a joke, right? So all these people reached out and like, come work at Apt, ABT. So I'm like, they're like, don't worry, we'll train you. Like, you're fine. So I ended up started working there in the electronics department, which I thought like, yeah, I got a theater and shit, and I know all this shit, and I'm like, I didn't know a goddamn thing. So, but right away, like they pay crazy per hour and plus commission, and literally this is a place is like silver platter. You don't have to do shit, and like customers just come in all day long buying shit.
Hell yeah.
You don't have to do a goddamn thing. Yeah. So that's where I worked for probably about 7 years also until I was. People would tell me like, dude, you have no wife, you have no kids. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and you have money. Go to fucking Tahiti or some shit. And I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to leave my parents. I don't want to. Yeah. But I literally had like no friends. I would go home and go to my badass house and watch TV and order Chinese food every fucking day. Who needs
friends when I have all this shit?
I mean, pretty much.
And I got seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Walking Dead on fucking Blu-ray.
Well, dude, my theater, we used to watch Walking Dead. It was so sick. But yeah, so it like kind of clicked after a while. These guys, everybody there made crazy ass, like 1,500 salespeople all made six figures. Like you didn't have to do anything. So, and some of these guys were making $200,000-$300,000 a year, and they're like in their 20s, and they just not know how good they had it. They were just spoiled little assholes, right. And entitled, and like that started seeping in like so much of this fucking like trying to keep up with the Joneses shit, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck anymore about how much, like, I can't be around these. Oh, and the customers, the fucking worst that you've ever seen. So I'm not going to say what ethnicity, but you can guess. So, and I don't mind saying, because they're in Chicago, they like train these people to be fucking ruthless, and they're not only ruthless, but they're mean. Right. So it like rips out your soul when they just hammer and hammer and hammer, and then you give in, and then they hammer more, and then they hammer more, and then next week they return all this shit too. So these people are just, it ruined your life. Like, right. I'm like, I can't fucking do this shit anymore. So like yeah. So you,
God damn it,
money, yeah. But that's when you learn money. Yeah, I was a kid who had fuck ton of money, so that was everything, right? But when you grow up and you mature and you learn that money isn't fucking everything, like. I can't live, and you have
to have a little bit of like respect, both self and outward.
Well, I don't know about that, but no, I
at least on that level with like customers on hammering you that hard.
I just
it's like enough. To
I got bad mental illness like every fucking buddy else does, right? I've been on Zoloft my entire life, in and out of treatment centers and shit. I've had problems like most people, right? So that kind of shit, it affected me on like a personal level more so than just like a regular person being affected. Like it really fucking affected me like really bad. So and it was just I was in like the deep depressions and shit, and I have like the worst sleep apnea. You probably have it too, I'm guessing, right?
Not anymore, no.
Not anymore?
No.
It doesn't go away.
Mine went away.
Well, God bless you. Because anybody who's got a big neck is usually has that, or see with me it's crowding. So all this shit in here is crowding. But so between the not sleeping like fucking ever and like all the other shit, I was just like a fucking wreck. I'd be like, it's like if you know anything about this mental illness, it's like fucking roller coaster, right? So you're on the moon and then you want to kill yourself, right? So. that just all that shit was happening. My parents had moved down here, and I'm like, whatever. I'm a big boy. I don't need my parents. And then I was like, I miss my mommy. So I literally, this is the best thing ever. That I'm super proud of. I was making like $200,000 a year, and I said 2 weeks notice. I just threw it away. I sold my house. I put everything I owned in a pod. No plan, no fucking nothing, no bills, and I just left. Yeah, I took about a week and a half. It takes 14 hours to drive down here from Chicago. It took a week and a half. Best time of my life. I had nowhere to be, nothing to do. All the money in the world. I stopped wherever. I'm hungry, I'll eat here. I want to stay at a hotel, I'll stay here. And I just fucking did nothing. And it was so badass. And
Doing nothing is awesome.
And yeah, but you know what? I don't leave my bubble either. So that it was huge for me because I fear change big time. I don't like leaving my bubble. So this was like first time in my life. I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking like, what do I got to lose, right?
Yeah.
And I had no clue what the hell I was gonna do down here. I figured whatever, I'll figure it out. So that's when I came down here and slept on my parents' floor for like a week, and that got old. I wanted to kill them.
You're like, I know why I moved out in the first place.
Yeah, no, that lasted like every morning. I know my mom's probably gonna see this, but everybody she'd be, good morning, you want breakfast? I'm like, oh, fucking kill me right now. God, I can't. No, even though it's like, I know. She do my laundry. I'm like, don't touch my fucking clothes, you know? Like, I'm such an asshole. Yeah, really.
I also had a bad mental break thing when I was about maybe 19, and it affected job and everything, and I lost my apartment. I had to stay at mom's place for like another month or two. Same type situation, because she's like, we have always been like this.
Right.
She was always the punk rock and roll mom. She taught me about all the cool shit. So it's like, when I was down enough, she's like, oh, I've got you. I have never been more, I love you, and I know she's watching this one too. I have never been more motivated in my life to find a new job and a new apartment than spending 2 weeks back at mama's, and with her being so nurturing.
Yeah, it was.
And I even told her that too. I'm just like, I love you to death, but like, I gotta have a little bit of pain right now. Almost like I need some pain to get me back up.
Yeah, I don't know.
My parents are watching this. I have never felt that.
Yeah, come over and do whatever you want. Yeah. Well, so I live across the street from my parents, literally.
I hear you, Raymond.
Yeah. So my mother's known to go and do my fucking dishes and vacuum once in a while. I'm just trying to help, but I'm like, God, I feel bad is the thing because I don't. It's a weird thing. I don't like anybody fucking doing anything for me. I like doing everything myself, so it's one of those things. But so anyway, so that's how I ended up down here.
Yeah.
Ended up moving across the street. The guy let me rent the house right across the street, which I eventually bought. So my mother was super happy. They're right there. And then I got bored, so I started working at Davino's pizza place, if you know Davino's.
I've heard of Davino's, yeah.
So it's
I've never been there.
It's across from Lowe's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pizza place, right?
Yeah.
Now, people around
Crazy
here,
Italian pizza. Yeah.
people around here are like, this is the best food I ever had. I'm like, okay, you people need to get out. It was cool. So dude, Andy, young guy, runs it, cool as hell, laid back. All I wanted to do was be like a delivery driver. Because I didn't want it, I had enough money to not do anything for a while, and I didn't want to. But that's not me. So
you have to have something to do.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, I want to be, and then I opened my mouth and bragged that I ran a restaurant, all this shit. Next thing I know, I'm fucking working in the kitchen, right? So in the meantime, I'm making $9 an hour. Okay. And I rented this place. It was at that time the house was like $1,300 cheap, right?
Yeah.
So this was 5 years ago, almost, right? 6 years ago. It wasn't even making enough money, but I was fine. So I did that. Then I was on Facebook Marketplace one day, and I stumbled across this sports card collection that I ended up buying for $12,000, and I made about $250,000 off of it.
Holy shit.
And I still have stuff left over from it.
That's awesome.
What were some of the big pulls from that?
That was fucking crazy. So this is the...
oh, he's got stuff.
That's the crown jewel. So that's 100 years old, signed by Jimmy Fox.
Okay, hell yeah.
Wow.
So what ended up happening, we don't have to get into a long story with this, but basically I was fucking around on Facebook Marketplace just looking for something to buy and flip.
Yeah.
So somehow, I stumbled upon these cards that I kept. So
I've got a Hank Aaron, yeah.
the two Hanks and the Willie Mays. So those three cards I saw in a picture, and then in a blurry background you can see all this other shit. So I messaged and I said, hey, is this a store? And they're like, no, it's a booth in an antique mall.
Okay.
Well, naturally, I just moved here. I'm like, cool, it's antique mall right over here. Whatever. So I said, hey, can you send me some more pictures of all the stuff in there? So they're like, okay. Because in my brain, I'm like, these southern fucking morons that probably don't know shit. I'm gonna fucking rape them. So So they sent me all these pictures, and I'm looking around, and I'm talking to my stepdad. I'm like, there's probably like, I mean, there's autographed everything, pictures, balls. Then there's graded cards, thousands of them, and then just like rows and rows and rows of baseball, basketball, football, hockey, from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, like fucking everything, gold mine. So I told my stepdad, there's probably like a couple $100,000 here, like,
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, I'm prepared to like make an offer, whatever, because this could like set me, right? So I said, would you be interested in selling the whole entire booth? They're like, oh, no one's ever really asked to do something like that. I said, well, I'm genuinely interested. I love this stuff and it looks like a really awesome collection. So it turned out to be this 80-year-old man who's on his deathbed. He hates his family. He didn't want any of them to get his shit.
No way.
Now, this is a story they told me. Could be made up. I don't know. But so basically he put all this stuff in there on consignment because he didn't want his grandchildren or any of them to get any of this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So I said, fine. I asked him how much he wants for the whole booth. So in my brain, I'm thinking like I'm thinking $50,000 is like probably what they're going to ask. And honestly, I could swing it. It'll probably make me broke, but I'll probably do really well.
Right.
So they come back and they say he wants $12,000, which made me think like, that's a weird number. He probably wanted 10 and they're going to pocket 2 and whatever else.
Right.
Which I don't care. So I was like, fucking A, I'll be there in like 10 minutes. So I said, what's your address? So they gave me their address and it's in Georgia.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
What?
Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? Well, first of all, Facebook Marketplace, it's all with radius and zip codes. So it didn't even make sense because it's not like I went through Georgia when I came down from Illinois. So I don't know how the fuck this even happened.
You made a couple wrong turns, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, so funny enough, and I'll tell you this, another funny thing about it. Anyway, so found out they're 4 hours away and they're like, how did you miss this up? I'm like, I have no idea. I said, but I honestly have nothing to do. So I'll drive down. Like, what's the worst case scenario? I drive down, it's bullshit, I'll drive back. I don't care, it's 4 hours.
They just went through South Carolina too.
Exactly. So I drove down there and I went in this and they ended up opening, it was on a Sunday, which they don't open. They ended up opening for me, which is awesome. And I literally, my entire car, top to bottom, like literally shit was in my, like here.
Wow.
Filled the whole fucking thing. I gave them $12,000 in cash. They were super happy.
Yeah.
They were in the middle of fucking nowhere. And that was it. So I drive back and the first thing I do is look and the town where all of Walking Dead is being filmed is right around the corner.
Yeah.
And I fucking missed it.
Well, you had 12 grams worth of shit in your car. You probably should have made it home first.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm like, fuck. I could have gone there, checked it. It was literally 3 minutes away. And I'm like, fuck. I can't believe I didn't even think of this.
I had one of those moments too. So one of the things I do is freelance photography and video. So I'll run around with bands and shoot their shows and stuff. A band I was with, we were in Wisconsin, and it was not until the morning after we're leaving the IHOP and back on the road did I go, pulled up Google Map. Our hotel was 5 minutes away from the Avery Junkyard near Manitowoc County in Wisconsin, the site from Making a Murderer.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here, I'm just like, fuck, we could have went to the Avery Salvage Yard. They're selling fucking t-shirts and mugs and stickers and all that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I would have so got a fucking Avery Salvage Yard t-shirt. And
that sucks.
And yeah, it was, and like one other person in the car liked that shit too. And of course, my dumb ass didn't think of it until like 40 minutes down the road when I went, hold up.
That was huge. I don't even know. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
Right?
That was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Well, where I lived in Chicago, I lived 10 minutes from Gacy's house.
Oh.
So my last house was in Des Plaines, so it was literally 10 minutes from Gacy's. And then when the Dahmer shit happened, that was 45 minutes. So we drove up to before they knocked down that apartment complex, we drove up there. Oh yeah, just to drive around. We did all sorts of crazy shit like that.
That's all. See, I'd love to do that kind of crazy shit. I love that.
I remember when the news came and people were like, yeah, it was fucking crazy. We got in the car right away.
Just like true crime. I think Chicago's probably got some of the worst fucking murderers in the world.
Yeah.
They got the Chicago Rippers.
Yeah.
They are the worst fucking serial killers I have ever read about. Next to a couple ones back before modernization.
What was a couple bullet points on those?
Rippers,
no pun intended.
Chicago Rippers were a group of gentlemen who are animals who abducted women. One of them worked for John Wayne Gacy.
Ah, okay.
In his construction company. So yeah, they're just.
Well, the history too of this.
I would not recommend looking that up.
No, look it up.
It's history.
It is fucking rough.
History we forgot?
Des Plaines is great. So Des Plaines was the first McDonald's. That was in like literally in my backyard, which was right there. So that was also, that whole area was Al Capone. So that like, that's where those guys hung out. Dillinger, like all those guys lived in that area, hung out. And so there's just like tons of that fucking history around there, which is kind of crazy.
I guess they apparently have a serial killer running around Chicago right now.
Well, because they keep finding these bodies in the Chicago River. That's been a thing, and they
It's
don't
all
know.
guys.
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, I brought Chicago here, right? So I don't pay attention to any of that
And you
shit.
got the dogs.
That's all that fucking matters.
It all goes back to this terrible White Sox. Yeah, they're cheating little fucking shit.
I'm a Cubs guy. I don't know. If anything, I'm not a sports fan, but
The worst
we're
fans.
Northsiders.
So I will say that some of the worst fans I ever met were Cubs fans, next to Philly fans.
Well, yeah.
Because I met them in D.C. during the fourth when they were playing the Nationals.
Yeah.
And we were all on the train together, and I'm just like, oh, these goddamn Cubs fans.
Yeah, no,
are
they're
fucking awful.
They are. Cubs, Bears,
Philly
and
fans.
Blackhawks.
Oh yeah.
Any of them Chicago? No, because you've got a dynasty of fucking losing bullshit, and all these people care about is getting drunk and having a a good time. Like
got
it's
the
not even
Bulls.
about the sports.
Yeah, the Bulls.
Notice I didn't include them in that.
Yeah.
So that's another cool thing is I got stories for days. So if you see up here, you got Bob Love, who played for the Bulls, right there. So his son was my best friend growing up.
Fuck yeah.
So when I was in 7th grade, I lived in the Bulls locker room.
Oh, wow.
So I was there for Rodman's first game.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So that was the time. So you had Kukoc and Wennington and Stacey King and all those guys, and we would literally be in the locker room on every single game.
So you were there during the 96, 97, 98.
Yeah. During the fucking prime time.
Wow.
Yeah, like having dinner with the Reinsdorfs who own the Bulls and the Sox,
Yeah.
which I never, at the time, that's the thing. This giant, I'm in 7th grade, and, again, we're in white Jewish suburbia, and this big giant black kid comes in, like, in the middle of the year, quiet, didn't say nothing. Well, I became friends with him right away. And he had this long way to, like, drive. He lived with his brother, and he had to, like, ride his bike all the way. So he ended up coming to my house, like, every fucking day, and he became, like, family. And he's like, one day, he's like, you want to go to a Bulls game? I'm like, yeah, all right. I didn't know. And, and his dad was 6'8", but I didn't fucking know. And he stuttered. That was, like, Butterbean. He just passed away, actually, like, a couple months ago from cancer. Like, I didn't know any of this shit about him, but we get in his car, and then we go in, like, the back way to, like, get in. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then he's like, oh, you didn't know who my dad is? I'm like, no, I don't fucking know who I had no clue. So
You're just a cool dude. That's all I
I don't
know.
know if he's with Bulls right now. By the way.
yeah. So he was the head of PR, I think, for the Chicago Bulls. That was, like, his actual job title.
Wow.
No, he was 80s, right?
Oh, yeah, he was older.
Yeah.
He
He made it to, like, the late 80s, I think, right before Jordan got there.
No, he's in the 70s, actually.
Oh, he's in the 70s.
He was 70s.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about his age when he passed away, because he might have been in his 80s. But no, he was. He played with who's the freaking coach, Patrick, or who's a
Pat Riley?
Pat Riley. Yeah, he
Yeah,
played in
from
Pat
Kentucky,
Riley
yeah.
times, and Kareem and all those guys. Yeah. That's when he played. So,
Fuck yeah.
but yeah, so that was a cool little
All those
tidbit.
older basketball guys ended up doing something in the NBA.
What?
Most of the older NBA guys who were successful, even halfway successful, end up becoming like coaches or fucking yard guys.
or announcers or whatever,
Yeah.
like Barkley and
Yeah.
which fun. I hate sports, but when Shaq and Barkley go at it, it's kind of funny.
hilarious.
It is.
That's terrible.
They literally
catch
don't
the
like
clips
each other.
and those are
It's
good.
pretty funny. Yeah, I'm not a sports guy. So, but anyway, so back to
12,000 sports stuff.
yes. Well, whatever. That's no big deal. No big
Yeah,
deal.
this is a little small something.
Yeah.
I made my nut.
No, that was it wasn't like it wasn't like right away. It was within like 2 years. I just was hawking shit on eBay and just $1,000 fucking every day in my bank account.
killer,
It was
though.
awesome, yeah. And at that time, so I ended up getting a job at this place called Sound Vision. And Sound Vision does custom audio, video, and residential and commercial and stuff. And it's kind of what I did back at Apt in Chicago. So
Right.
my resume looked amazing to them. And they wanted me like right away. And I'm like, this is weird. No one's ever like fought over me over dumb shit that I barely. Honestly, we had like people that like you'd put together a proposal and you'd give it to this guy, and this guy would fucking do it all and do it all. You didn't do shit. So here is small and like. They wanted me to like put together this proposal with these parts and shit. I didn't even know fucking any of these things. So
Yeah.
they taught me, and I like usual, I ended up doing pretty well right off the bat. Because that was the thing. They're like, you understand it's 100% commission, so you're not getting paid anything. I said, well, lucky for me, I'm okay, so that's all right. And they're like, yeah, you're not, this isn't like apt. You're not going to get like spoon fed. Like you're going to have to go out there hunting. I'm like, fucking bring it on. So yeah.
Let's do it.
Right. So that's when I came up with this idea to make postcards. And I literally would drive in neighborhoods and put postcards in mailboxes.
Nice.
Specifically because they said, don't do that. It's not going to work. So, and we're not going to pay for it. So I went on Vistaprint with my own money. I made my own cards. And then I landed a $250,000 job from a guy who just bought a house in Cornelius in the peninsula, who was flipping the house and said, I got your card. And he ended up spending $250,000. That was like one of my first big things. And they're like, okay, we
We were wrong.
yeah. So
Okay.
and then
But we heard you stole a guitar case. You're fired.
You're right.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
Guitar Center called us. We know. We know what you are. You piece of shit.
God. So this is actually so this is my first tattoo. So what that is well, you know what this is, babam, right?
Yes.
So in Guitar Center world, not anymore, but when you made commission, you get a percentage of the sale. So I got like 3% of the sale, and then you get 10% of JIP, or gross profit.
No.
So we called it JIP, okay? So these are the things I'm like Rain Man, where when something made a shit ton of profit, we called it a JIP bomb. Customers didn't know what that meant, right?
Yeah.
So like I'd always be like, yo, Bill, you want to sell those strings because they're JIP bombs? And they'd be like, oh, okay, right? Because even though those are 10 and those are 10, those will make you 8 in commission, those will make you 2 in commission. Well, I used to study these fucking things behind the scenes to like memorize what shit made money. So because I made more profit than anybody else in the company, I was the human JIP bomb. So that's where this tattoo came from.
Love that.
Yeah, so that was my first tattoo, which I forgot even till then. Oh, and this is a great story. This is a girl who worked at the Rockford location, and she ended up cheating on her husband with me for a year, and I didn't even know she had a husband.
Oh, shit.
And this was my level of commitment to her, getting my initial and her initial here. Yeah, that was a long ass time. So that's
Hell yeah.
which it turned out it looks like a K, but it's really an R. So it'd be even a stupider story if I got my own initials on my wrist anyway. So
in case I forget.
yeah. So anyway, so I worked at Sound Vision.
Yeah.
They became like family, fucking great dudes. Although the boss, we butted heads like big time, like usual, because I difference of opinion on everything. I thought I knew more, but it was his baby, his company, and I ended up hating it like back at home. I would go to these people's houses, I did consultations all day long, which I loved.
Yeah.
Going, meeting people, seeing these badass houses, whatever, right, doing my thing. Every one of these fucking people would run me through the ringer and then make me write a proposal and then just ghost you. And that was like a North Carolina thing, which I slowly learned, right? That in North Carolina, people do not get back to anybody. So I'm like, cool, I know how to be successful. So that's how
get
I
back
was.
to people.
Oh, literally, it's not hard, but no one does. So it started weighing on me, like, and I'd have a month where I'd make 10 grand in commission, then I'd have 4 months that I made literally $0. So the inconsistency was kind of stupid. I had medical insurance, thank God. So that was one of the reasons why I had to stick with it. And my mom's like, you have to stay at this job because you have medical insurance. I was paying $800 a month for medical insurance.
Oh, wow.
Through Cobra, right? Or
Yeah.
whatever. So you know the drill. Yeah. So which was fun. So it got to the point.
I didn't crib until I got this.
What?
They fucked up something, and then now I'm on Medicare, Medicaid.
And hopefully a lawsuit.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Dialysis for 7 years.
Jesus Christ.
You automatically get put on the fucking government tit for that.
Wow.
He has danced with the Grim Reaper numerous times.
Ruined my arm permanently.
Wow.
But you were talking about sales. I fell into the job.
He's like, anyway.
I fell into a job because I came out of food service.
Yeah.
Where I really realized, there's no money in this. $9 an hour type shit.
Right.
And I was doing corporate fucking catering, and I finally realized, no, I'm working my fucking self to death for nothing. So I quit on the spot. And then I found a job by accident, and they're like, "Are you good with people?" And I lied and said yes. And
I love people.
I fucking love them. I'm the best.
I'm a people. We're good. Yeah.
I'm a Siegler people.
And I like me.
No, I'm doing good. I'm not, but I'm doing good. So I work for a corporate solar company here in Mooresville.
Oh God, which one?
Power Home Solar.
Kevin Klink?
Yes, I know Kevin Klink.
Don't worry, names will be censored.
I know.
And his partner.
How James or Waller, yeah.
Yeah, what's his first bald motherfucker? Jason.
Jason Waller.
Jason Waller.
Jason Waller spelled wrong.
So they were customers of Sound Vision.
Yeah, they were customers of a lot of people who did not pay their fucking bills.
And then Pink Energy. I know everything.
Oh yeah,
Pink, and now it's Christian Mission, right? Or what it's going to be.
Hey, shit, nothing. It's a Christian Mission.
It's going to be Christian Mission.
But I was there.
You worked for them. That's funny.
I was there. I mean,
they were indicted
hard by like multiple states. Illinois is one of them.
I just looked it up, and I remember them like my boss saying don't bring this shit. Like I'm like, it's public information. It's on the internet. I'm not going to bring it to them. But he's like, no, we don't talk.
They literally had a website called evilguyfieri.com, and it was Jason Waller on the cover.
Yeah, he looks like
he looks like an evil Guy Fieri. I met him my first day.
All right, fuck it, we're not bleeping names.
I ran into him my first day.
This thing I never met them, but I know they were cut. Like we did their house in the Point, I don't.
Yeah.
I remember going over there one time and like he let us like drive his
Lambo.
No, McLaren.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
like
McLaren.
That he got for his wife.
Yeah.
And he called it the grocery getter.
Yeah.
Oh, how fucking pretentious are we?
Yeah,
But he
had money,
he
man.
Had a bigger house in Michigan where he drove a Lambo all the way here with his podcast typed out on the side of it, and it was weird colors. And it's just like, you do not know how to drive a Lambo.
I mean, do I need to cancel Couch Potatoes car wrap?
No.
Okay.
But that's why. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
like,
that's the thing. I never worked with them. I don't know them. I don't know whatever. Yeah.
So I worked for them.
Yeah.
And I was really good at working for them until they created a whole new department because of all the complaints that started coming in, called the Public Platform Relations Department. And so they needed people who didn't mind getting yelled at. And I was like, I don't give a shit. All these other motherfuckers are crying, like on the phone, like because they're just getting berated because salespeople lied. But like when I was talking about the opposite end, I would have to go in behind salesmen and been like, "What the fuck were you doing?" Yeah, when you're talking to this person.
Well, they do anything to make a commission.
Yeah, and I'm just like, they
end of the
lied on they
Sure. That's how you make
allegedly
commission.
lied on a customer's form about how much they made in a year
To get them approved
to
for a
get
certain
them
amount.
for finance.
Wow.
And it was an older couple. Most likely, that couple lost their fucking house. I talked, and you know about selling your soul to a fucking corporate entity.
Yeah.
I about quit. I stayed long enough to make enough money to where I didn't have to work for a while, and that's what I ended up doing. I'm like, because I came home, I'm just like, oh, I'm good.
You worked here though, right?
I worked here, and when they moved to Charlotte, they moved to a big building in Charlotte.
And at about that point, a girl and I had been seeing, we had just split. And then I had a band, and we had just broken up, and my bassist had moved out. And at about that time, I was just like, "Hey, Chris, if you want to like move to Charlotte, I need a roommate."
So I was signaled to air mattress in a room in Charlotte, and then going to the corporate office in Charlotte and working. And I'll get these people on the phone. I fucking hate you. I had a lady blame me for a miscarriage. I had one lady blame me her husband. I killed her husband because of stress. And I'm just all kinds of stuff. But I would end up talking to these salespeople to the point where they would come to my desk in Charlotte because the sales floor was on the other side of the office and blocked.
It was literally like boiler room.
Yeah.
I know.
They're fucking just hardcore motherfuckers. And then one guy came up to me. He ended up selling this guy like 25 solar panels. And if you have solar panels, you have panels and you have an inverter that goes to the house.
Right.
Well, he ended up selling 25 fucking more. And I'm just like, hey, you know that thing that it hooks to? You know that's specially fucking made, right? For those first set of panels.
Yeah.
You don't just Jerry string these motherfuckers like lights in an arcade. Like
You don't?
You don't? Yeah.
They don't give you more solar power that way?
So he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, you know how much this is? This by itself was $5,000 without taxes. $5,000. I'm like, so we're going to have to give him $5,000 worth of equipment. And then we got to pay people who pay $35 an hour to go to his house and find a place to put the fucking second one and then wire it to his house without his house catching on fire. You fuck. And like,
Didn't most of these people get government subsidies though? That's why I'm like, yeah. See, this thing, I don't know.
when we
I don't
changed
know.
our name, I was just like,
To Pink Energy, that was
I was just like, this is.
That's how I knew it was some
This
bullshit.
is bad because like part
I
of
was
my
gonna say, you only
department
lasted like 2 weeks after that.
because like our department was part of the legal department, and like if they escalated past me because I became the manager of that whole department like overnight by accident just because I kept showing up for work like I didn't. And it was salary, it was great money for here. $55,000 was good money.
Sure.
So I was like, oh my god,
Which is, I mean, those guys. It was a pyramid scheme, right?
it was
Basically.
Multi-level marketing is what they
it
call
wouldn't
it
like,
now.
No.
I mean, how are those guys making millions of dollars?
All right, so like when you bought solar panels, you financed them.
Right.
All right, so we would get our money instantly. The finance companies who you're actually fucking paying.
Oh, right.
And so they would have a system like panels, inverter, service contracts. That was the big thing. The service contract was free for every customer. So if it went out, we would go out there, no charge, to fix it because that is our responsibility.
Right.
I say "our" like it's anyway,
like you're still taking ownership of the company.
that's just the parlous.
So what happened?
So
Once
you would
pink
buy a
energy, always
system,
pink energy.
and the majority of all systems that were being sold were above $75,000, and you're talking about thousands of customers per state, per multiple states.
Okay,
so they're bringing in a shit ton of money.
So what
immediately.
happened? What happens to these people when they're gone and they're out of business? What the fuck happens? What happens to all these people?
Well, the
I
state.
think a lot of them get ripped up, don't they?
Well, here's the thing. They stay on the house. Liens are removed because that's another thing. If you get solar panels on your house from a company, they put a lien on your house until everything's paid off.
Correct. Yeah. I had the same problem with siding on my house.
Yeah.
Which we actually fudged at the sale in Chicago.
Yeah.
She said,
So-
"Don't say anything." So literally, owing money on the house still, I sold the house.
So like if you had a house
Fucked up.
with Power Home solar panels on it, and you sold the house, whatever the cost of the panels that you had left on it would be deducted from the sale.
Got it.
So, but the service contract would not transfer. So the customers kind of.
Well, there were nobody to service it anyway. So
Yeah. Well, that's
but
like-
could you find a different solar company? And
No,
they
but you could find a different service industry, another service company. So like,
and they'll service though, even though they're not theirs.
you just have to be certified into servicing. Like you could find a construction guy, like a contractor who was. Like Generac, man. The same guys who make the fucking
the
generators.
generators. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm certified into take a screwdriver to one of these goddamn things. So,
They're
like,
not hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
But like, that's what I dealt with. I was dealing with sales guys. It's just these. But I would go in there. They'd be talking to customers. I'd be looking. I'm like, I'm gonna have to talk to that customer in like a year because you're fucking lying to him. You sack of fucking shit. Like, and then they finally created a department with 2 people who would go in behind the salesman to verify the sale to make sure they weren't cheating these motherfuckers because they were on the news in 3 different states. I'd showed him a couple of the news ones, just lying to their goddamn teeth. Oh yeah, they work in the snow. No, they don't. They don't.
My favorite is still, and I'll put a clip of it in. Is my favorite is the guy that was going door to door. Hello, neighbor.
Hello. Yes, sir. Hey, how you doing? Hey, sorry to bother you. I'm Fernando. I work at Peak Energy. We're a few doors down. We're in 1845. Okay. So we do solar around here. We're just coming around talking to neighbors. Sorry, dude. Neighbors. I apologize, man. I know. No, man, that wasn't even...
That was not a skit.
Wow.
That was
That was
real
another
life.
one. There's another there's a lot of solar companies in North Carolina.
Yeah, because it was on a ring camera or something.
Yep.
I caught it. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I've worked, and then I worked with like 2 other solar companies after that in
Yeah.
the field. Better on the up and up.
Solar City was one in California.
Solar City, and then Tesla, and then
Tesla, yeah.
But like as soon as you merge, as soon as you get to like Texas, it just all changes. But no, he had a security company here too, called Power Home Security.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It went tits up. Very big.
Big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. These
Small
guys,
world,
if
man.
you do shady shit behind the scenes,
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's sad. That's the thing. I don't have it, I would never say anything. Oh, well, no. I'll say bad things about anybody. I don't give a fuck. But I didn't know these guys. So I have no... I just remember seeing him on the billboard. I'm like, who the fuck is this
He had a
douche?
Super Bowl commercial, man.
No, he didn't.
Oh, my
He
God.
did the year I moved to Charlotte was a Super Bowl commercial. Pink Energy.
No fucking way.
They designed like a little robot person. I'm just like, what is this stupid?
I remember
fucking-
you showed me that commercial.
So
I
they
didn't
pay
know
like-
that was a Super Bowl
So they
commercial.
paid like, what, $5 million for 20 seconds
when they brought us in to do like, they told everybody to go on hold to do the meeting, and we all went to the other side of the office. And he had this big presentation about changing everything and letting our customers know that everything's okay. I'm like, no, that's not okay. Anytime a company changes its fucking name that abruptly, that means we're all getting fucking sued into the ass.
Yeah, one LLC to another.
5 state AGs were going after Power Home Solar at one point.
Yeah.
North Carolina was going to be the 6th. And this is our home base. Like, home base was North Carolina.
I didn't know the extent of that. I just remember Googling it and being like, because I wanted to see what this guy did for a living, and I Googled and it was like indictment, and I'm like, what the? So I was
Evil
like,
Guy Fieri still up?
I don't know. You have to look it up. But nah, that got sent to me by a service guy in the field.
No.
He's like, hey man, because I work toward the end of the night. I work second shift, and I would always get the service QA guys who were finishing services, and I would talk to the customer and talk to the service guy. And the service guys loved me because I'd been the one putting them on the calendar, making sure they have work. And dude, one of them sent me. He's like, "Hey man, I'm gonna send you something. You still got your personal number I can use? Yeah, send it to me. Don't send it to my work phone. It's an iPhone. I hate fucking using it. Don't let me. God damn it." And like he sent it to me, and it was an Instagram of this redneck guy talking about Power Home Solar. It was a skit, and then it was the Evil Guy Fieri like website.
wow.
And then not long after I saw that, a flood of NDAs started coming through the pipeline about us having to. Hey, when you do your employment, they were going to switch our. They said the guys they were going to switch our pay thing from like ADP to Paylocity or whatever, which is another pay system.
Right, yeah.
They never did, but we all ended up signing those NDAs anyway because we thought it's part of the program.
Of course, yeah.
I'm not reading an NDA. I don't give a shit.
No.
And then they went tits up, and so I started talking about them all the time. My last day,
Doesn't matter anyway. What are they going to sue you?
Yeah, my last day, I looked around the office. The person that was supposed to be there that morning never showed up because she was just so fucking stressed. Because she sent me a message as soon as I walked in because I'd show up an hour early. She's like, "Hey, I couldn't come in today. You understand?" I'm like, "No, I get it." And then I looked around. I'm just like, I got money in the bank. I got cash in the ground. I got my rent money already paid out for the year. I technically could just. My dad's going to need help at home. He's about to have a knee surgery. He ain't getting the fuck up. So I'm just like,
I'm out.
He had a slogan, "Bam, be a movement." That was like a thing. my last email, I wrote an email. "Thank you such and such for helping me get through this company. I really appreciate everything I've learned. I've learned a lot when it comes to the corporate aspect of everything.
Yeah.
Thank you to so and so. I wish everybody the best. Bam," or whatever. And I signed it off that way.
I love that BAM or whatever.
And I closed my laptop, brought it to the IT department, gave my fucking company phone to one other person. I'm like, "This is yours now."
I wonder what those guys are. Yeah, I wonder if they're like
3
in
months
jail.
later, they went out.
I wonder if they're in jail or anything. I don't even. Who knows?
White collar crime, man. They ain't going to jail.
Yeah, you're right.
But nah, man. 3 months later, I saw it on a friend of mine, my old boss. "Hey, how are you doing? I hope you're okay. Check this out." And it was a YouTube of a local news station. They were in my cubicle area, and my desk was right there with nothing in it. And they're just like, "We're here."
You could have been on the 10 o'clock news.
So nuts.
They moved to Charlotte because of all the talent in Charlotte. Because UNC Charlotte was right there, and they were going to do.
Well, that's where the money is too.
They were going to do student employees.
Oh, so they didn't have to pay them. So they have to no pay.
No pay.
Yeah. Oh, internship.
Interns.
Credited.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
Smart.
had a guy. He looked at me. He's like, "Well, how long have you been out of college doing this?" I'm just like, "What?" I'm like, "I went to college to be a history teacher, which is a fucking scam." So no, a year ago I was making omelets. Okay, motherfucker. Like,
And now I'm selling solar panels.
get the fuck out of here. Yeah, you goddamn mind. Oh man, it was just like, but being on the back end, just the sales that just brought that up.
Yeah, no,
but you were totally
it's
right.
just funny how the connections
the
too.
corporate
Yeah,
thing does fucking murder you if you're not. Like, you got to be a monster to do that shit.
Oh, 100%. What wound up like?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I see these guys. I'll go out to eat once in a while, and you'll see, like, for lunch, and you'll see all these fucking suits, dudes our age, and I'm like, these guys fucking hate their lives. I know they do, and it's like,
Well, see, I got to be in the trenches of it because one of my clients was like one of those public speaker motherfuckers, and like we'd go to like CES like booths and expos and shit where he'd have like speaking engagements, and it's all, sales techniques and all this other bullshit. And yes, you walk around and you look at all these people at booths. You can see it on their face. They are not happy.
No.
They can have all the money in the world, but they are not happy.
They have
with
a
their
wife.
fucking lives.
They have 2 kids that are freaking out of control, and they cannot stand their job. Like Yeah, so that's a good transition to where now I never have a wife, but I don't have kids, but I was literally same thing. I was making good ass money, but I'm like, this fucking it sucked. I hated waking up every day and going to this place and doing the same shit and no results. And meanwhile, I'm making killer money on eBay anyway. And everyone in my whole life is like, you got to open your own store. I'm like, I don't even fucking, I have no clue how. It give me anxiety just to think about like filling out LLC forms and shit. Like,
Yeah.
So I'm like, something came over me. I was turning 40, and I'm like, you know what? I literally said, I told my mom, I don't want to fucking work anymore. Like, I don't have to. Like, it's stupid. Like, I'm that confident, I'm that good, I don't need to work anymore. So then I was like, all right. I started literally planning smart because I wanted to open a store, but I didn't. Everybody opens a store in debt, right? Because not everybody has money, right? So I get it, and they want their freedom, but that scares me. And I'm the guy who does dumb shit my whole life and doesn't think through it. So this one time, I'm like, you know what? I'm not opening a store with debt. Like, I'm not borrowing money. I'm just not. So I ended up over a year literally going through the motions, buying up. So like all the fixtures that are in here, the glass cases, I ended up buying all this shit and just hoarding it in my house. What's the worst case scenario? It doesn't go happen, I'll fucking sell it, right? So then I'm buying stuff like lots of shit and just sitting on it. I'm not even selling it. Cherry picking cool shit for myself too.
Exactly.
In the meantime.
Of course.
So my garage was literally like a fucking haven of just like shit to open a store, right? So, and then it finally came down to the time where, and that's the thing, I didn't say anything to my boss, didn't say anything. I kept it quiet the whole time because I don't want them to get rid of me because I'm telling them I'm going to do something or whatever.
Exactly.
So, but we were super close. So it came down to like the December. And I said, hey, I want to let you guys know I'm opening a store, so I'm not going to be working here anymore. So they were like relieved, to be honest. They won't say it, but every job that I did had fucking problems and I had to get cleaned up, and they fucking hated me. So they loved me, but they hated it. I wasn't good at it, put it that way, and I'm okay to admit it. So I was good at marketing. I was way better at marketing and helping them. They've been around for 10 years and nobody's even fucking heard of Sound Vision. I'm like, guys, that's a problem. Yeah. Like, that was my thing, but they're not marketers, right? So that was my thing. So they're like, do you have a spot picked out? I'm like, nope, I do not. And at that point I didn't, but at that point I had set up an LLC. I have my website set up. I got a logo. I'm set. I just need to find a place. So
was Crazy Cool the name of the eBay store initially?
No. So it's not even the eBay store. Oh. My eBay store is Abe Froman Sausages.
The Sausage King.
Sausage King of Chicago. Yeah. So it's been that way for 20 years. That's number one. But I didn't want to... So the reason they don't cross over is because people on eBay are fucking ruthless. And I piss people off all the time because I don't put up with shit. So if I piss somebody off, they're going to put like a local review. This guy, I can't believe this guy runs a store. Don't go shopping there. He fucked me on eBay. Or, you know what I'm saying? So they got to be
whiny buttholes.
Completely separate for that specific reason. Yeah. Just knowing the people I've dealt with over the years. So I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking at 28117 because I'm like, I'm trying to think, like a real business person, which I'm not. Where's a good place, location, by the point, rich people and all this stuff. And then it's like, and then I'm looking outside of Mooresville, my mom's like, you gotta stay at Mooresville. So this place was a fire extinguisher refill station.
No shit.
And next door was some doctor's office, some bullshit. Okay, so they put this building up for sale for $300,000. So at the time I didn't own my house, I really wanted to fucking buy the building.
Yeah.
So as soon as I inquired about it, they said somebody paid cash. It's done. And I'm like, fuck. So I said, I want to rent it. So I get a hold of the guy. Turns out he's like the coolest guy ever. So he wanted me to rent both spots. He was hoping. And I'm like, well, here's the deal. So it was going to be like almost $4,000. And I'm like, I don't know if I could afford it, but I don't know what business I'm going to do. Plus I don't even know if I have enough shit to fill out both places. And then I'm like, okay, can I do like a haunted house over there? Can I do like something? But my mom's like, why don't you just like start over here? If it doesn't get rented out, then, so immediately it's closed off and somebody's renting it. I have no clue. He's making fucking all his noise over there. I'm over here. We meet each other. He's cool as shit. Right. So, but that's when I decided like, I want to do this. And I don't care if I make money or not because I make a killing on eBay and I will continue to. Especially around here, like cherry picking on Facebook Marketplace, fucking simple.
Oh yeah.
This was the peak of Funko Pops. So literally like everybody and their mom was like, need to get rid of these, right? And it's like they bought them 10 years ago, so like even though they're taking hits on their value, they paid $10 a piece for them, right?
Yeah.
So I'm buying all these lots and just doubling my money like left and fucking right.
Hell yeah.
That's what I was doing to keep it going, but I still had, I still have more shit in my house. I have a lifetime supply of shit that I can sell. I mean, literally.
You have inventory for days.
This is nothing, right? This is like a little sliver of my personal shit. That's the thing. So like, I have so much shit that I can sell.
I know, I love that son there. My personal collection's not for sale, ever.
I get all these people, everything's got a price. I'm like, no, not when I'm a millionaire. It's not. Thanks. Have a nice day. Which I'm not. But no, that's so. That was the whole vibe of the store, was like, this is going to be fucking cool. So that was the whole idea. The first thing I was going to buy was something really fucking badass that was going to be a showstopper. I told my mom, I don't care how much it costs, I need to get it. So the first thing I actually looked at was this giant ass fucking gorilla arm that would have filled up this entire room.
Oh, no shit.
And it was animatronic. It was 15 grand. And you push a button and it hydraulic comes out like this, and it literally like kind of grabs you and pulls you. So I was like,
shit.
yeah, who the fuck? That would be the fucking coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
People blow people's fucking minds.
Oh yeah, you got King Kong in
And
the
I was
back.
gonna do it. Yeah, and I was gonna do that literally back here, this whole entire area. The company that did it would not fucking get back to me. And I'm like, I'm not playing these. I don't put up with that shit regardless. But
Now that one really infuriates me. You're trying to give them a shit ton of money.
I'm emailing them, calling them. They don't get back to me, and then they finally did, and then they run around, and I'm like, you know what? I'm good. So I'm like, all right. I'm not dealing with this kind of money where I'm going to ship something I don't even know what it is, and blah, blah, blah. So then I'm looking at these statues, Hulk and all this, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not really into that stuff. And they're like 10 grand. I don't want to spend that money.
No.
So then that's when I found the dinosaur was like $2,200, a raptor, and I'm like, all right, that's pretty inexpensive and it's fucking cool.
Love it.
And I'm gonna have it right off the bat. So then I did like a Jurassic Park thing, and then of course I had to do this. So this horror room was identical in my home theater back in Chicago. So my home theater looked like the fucking Haunted Mansion. So I kind of like took that idea and put it in here. Plus I had all this horror shit. I didn't know where to put it. So, but yeah, all I wanted was like a hangout, which is what it's become, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be this scummy guy who's all about money, because I'm not. And like, I just want it to be cool place for people to come in. And, it started off okay and it got rocky and whatever. And, but that's basically, and then it's just been recently, this eBay thing has been crazier than ever.
Really? So that's popping off harder than it's been.
Yeah. So, I always buy stuff. That was the thing.
Which, by the way, if you're trying to sell some shit.
Well, those aren't even mine. Those are my buddies.
I was talking to the camera.
Oh yeah. I don't care if you buy anything, but no, but that's literally the thing. I don't care if people come and buy. Like that's why I have back here this was kind of like, yeah, I like people coming here and just hanging out. And then if they tell somebody else, and then they come in and buy, but there's like no pressure. But no, the buying, that's what this business is about. Is and you watch Pawn Stars and you watch the Detroit one and all that shit. It's all fucking fake, but
comic book men,
whatever. Yeah. And they want you got something for $100 and they want to offer $5. It's fucking, that ain't real. And that's not how you fucking do business anymore. You just don't. So it was like, I'm honest and I'll tell you right off the bat, I'm going to lowball you, right? And it's fine for some people because they need money right away and they understand. They're not giving pushback. I know I'm going to take a loss. Fine. I don't feel guilty. We're good. You're going to get lowballed, right? Because there's no guarantees. But then it just came to a point where I was like, I'm going to start, like, this is what I'm good at, eBay. What if I can sell things for people? I'm not dishing out any money, so there's no risk on my end. And these are people in the situation where like, I don't give a fuck how much money I make. I don't even care. Like, I want to get rid of it. So I'm not in a rush. And at the end of the day, we split it. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's more fair. It's more of a versus them leaving and being like, fuck that guy. Like, he ripped me off. I never want anybody to think that, right? So even though we're nice and we have a nice exchange, I don't want that. And it doesn't, that's everybody's dream in this business, like pay $100 and make $1,000. That's not my fucking dream. And it happens, like, I begged this guy at one time, let me sell this shit for you on eBay or I'll give you $200. And he's like, just give me $200. And I ended up making $2,000.
Wow.
Not on purpose. Like, what I saw.
But you offered it.
I told him, I think there's maybe $500-$600 here.
Yeah.
And on the surface, that's what it looked like. And I said, I'll give you $200, which is a low offer for $500 or $600. I said, dude, just leave the shit with me. Now, if I don't come home with money, my wife's going to kill me. I'm like, all right, but if I dig through, I even said, if I dig through this shit and find gold, he's like, I don't think you will, whatever. All right, fine. So I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
And yet, but I prefer doing this, and it's such a better experience for people, and they really enjoy the positivity and the honesty. And I make money at the end of the day. And it's
plus,
fine.
And plus, with you like being in the position of, more or less being the friend in the scenario, it kind of takes the stickiness out of it, because no longer are you offering a specific price. You're going, all right, we're going to put it out in the marketplace and see how much we get for it. So I
literally don't buy. I don't buy things anymore. Like, people come and want to sell me things, I don't buy them. I don't want to buy them.
Yeah.
I've drained my business bank account because of shit I bought, and I don't pay attention to fucking anything. So, I literally drained it, like, just from buying shit, which I've done okay with, but there's so much shit here that I don't pay attention. I don't like, I bought this guy's Star Wars lot a year ago for $3,000. And when I priced it out, it was $10,000 to $12,000 worth of stuff, potentially.
Right.
I don't know if I made my money. I have no clue. I don't pay attention, right? I'm assuming I probably did, but
what's QuickBooks?
I don't have I don't give a fuck. I knew I didn't lose money, right?
Yeah,
but it's possible that I didn't even make any. I have no clue. Honestly, I know it's silly, but there's just so much going on and so much. It's like it doesn't even matter. So, but yeah, this is in the past like 6 months that it's just like blowing the fuck up that everybody's coming just giving me shit to sell, which is.
That's because they just don't want to deal with it.
Right, and I kind of corner the market because my lifestyle allows me to do this and make a living. Where I've tried to teach an eBay class. Like, I'm more than happy to pass the knowledge. It's not like a secret. I'm not a superhuman. I have time.
Yeah.
Right? Where most people have jobs and lives and kids and shit. You're not going to make the money I make because it's 24/7 job. I mean,
it really is.
Like, dealing with the customers. I mean, you guys see what, I'm packaging 30, 40 things a day, but I love it. It's not even like, it's not work to me, right?
Yeah.
So, at end of the day, that's, if I could spread the positivity or like hey, look at me, this fucking goon that could, you can do, anybody can do what I do if you just hustle a little bit, right? I mean, that's all I've ever done my whole life is hustle my ass off. Nothing was given to me. And I worked my way for everything. So,
and I think that's part of the reason why the two of us were kind of even drawn to the place, and like, the kind of attitude that you put out is, that's the kind of mentality I've always had in, I had my first job at 16, I had my first band at 18. I pushed that thing as hard as it could. I personally cannot sit still. I have to create. I have to do something. Is it always going to net me money? No, but at the same time, I'm still being that dancing monkey. As long as there's one person in the corner occasionally peeking through the curtain and looking at me, I'm going to keep tap dancing, and it doesn't feel stressful. Like doing the social media stuff for like clients and stuff. They talk about, oh my gosh, I have to think about all these things I have to film and edit. And I'm going, yeah. So we get to film and edit like all this stuff, we get to.
Yeah, but you know how to do that. That's the
like
thing. I don't
know how to do eBay.
Well, right. I post shit all day, every day. I mean, I've had to block people like recently with their dumb shit. Some lady. Well, we're not getting into all that. But some other lady.
We don't want to talk about that.
No, Jesus. Some other lady, literally this is on my Instagram. So you're following Crazy Cool Collectables. You're on my Instagram, and I put something about the hot dogs or some shit. I don't even remember. They're only free. I'm trying to give them to people, right? And this lady is like, makes a comment saying like, honestly, people are like sick of you and your posts, and I'm not the only person who thinks this. I just only have balls to say it. I'm thinking, and so I'm like, bitch, then why are you following? Like, who says that shit?
I've never understood that. Like, I'm on an unfollow and unfriend spree on Instagram and Facebook like crazy right now. I'm not making no damn announcements to these people before I leave out the door. Some people just annoy the piss out of you after a while, and you just got to get rid of them.
I don't know. You're like, why did you? First of all, you see the comments. You see how many people fucking love me. What do you think? You're gonna say that, and people are gonna be like, I agree. Fuck Brad. Like, what the fuck is? So I'm like, do you think I give a fuck? And then she posted something somewhere else. I'm never patronizing this place, and like everybody, like, do you think he fucking cares? Do you think, like, who the fuck are you? And it's always this lady. It's always a lady. Like, does everybody want my nuts or something? Like, is that what it? That's Allison Keeney. I can tell you right now. Jesus Christ. I mean, did you see that conversation that we had?
Y'all had a conversation.
That's the thing. I know her. She's not some random fucking Karen. That's what's even stupider. So she followed me. She's been here. I helped her kid. I mean, no, we had a conversation. She messaged me about a year ago saying, hey, I'm not a small business, but can I post in your small business group? Because I'm trying to come up, it's funny enough, I'm trying to come up with this like misconnections kind of thing. I'm like, so I said, you know, I'm being me, I'm joking. I'm like, oh, you mean like hey, I was at Starbucks and you were at Starbucks and we looked at each other and I think we had a connection like that. She's like, yeah, kind of more or less. And I said, I don't care. That sounds fucking cool. Post it in my fucking shit. She's like, that's why you're so cool. I love you. But we actually met one time at Food Lion and I came in your store and I'm like, okay.
Oh, it's a misconnection for you?
Well, yeah. And then she's like, it's just so hard to meet people. And I'm like, and at the time I didn't have a girlfriend, but I was like, I don't know. I got a great girlfriend. I'm happy because I wasn't about to fucking nothing with this broad. So, but then, she was like, you could clearly see she was like trying to hit on me or like pick me up or whatever, and I kind of brushed it off. That was like a year ago. And I save everything. So literally, she makes that stupid fucking comment in the group, in my post about, not to be rude, but I would never eat at a place that doesn't have a rating. And like right away, I wanted to be like, fucking eat a dick. But I'm like, what can I say that's not going to piss her off? I can't block her because that's going to, you know. Mm-hmm. So I said, good to know. That was the most passive fucking asshole thing I can say, right? And I figured that was going to be the end of it. And then I get all these, the next day I get these calls and text messages from all these, from my girlfriend, from my mom, from all these people that are in Mooresville Moms that are like, look at this post. And it's from her and it says, and the post said, so there's this place that I frequently go to, and it's not a restaurant, but the person is trying to sell hot dogs, and I don't think they're allowed to do something like that. And like, so I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So,
this has the same energy as the Karen shutting down the kid's lemonade stand in the neighborhood because she doesn't have a permit.
Well, here's the deal. These people, well, I can't get in Mooresville Moms because you have to be. I've tried to. You gotta be a woman. They won't let you. So
in 2025,
in this day and age,
you would think so. Yeah. I probably
with all these babies on the shelf.
I could probably make a few phone calls to make it happen. But
discriminatory.
Yeah, right.
Action.
Call Mark Zuckerberg.
Seriously,
Zucks got
people are sending me. Apparently, she does this every day. She has like her last post was like, so. My neighbor's dog, she basically has like some fucking bullshit to say like every fucking day, right? And nobody gives a fuck and people say, you know. So literally what the worst thing that could happen is every person was like, who the fuck are you? Shut the fuck up. Leave Brad alone. Like, so that was the worst thing that happened because next thing I know, it's like, oh, she blocked me. Well, I sent her a message. I'm like, dude, Allison, what is your fucking problem? And she responded, I don't know what you're talking about. I made a post and the post. I didn't even mention your name. I think you're taking this out of proportion. I said, no, you're being a bitch. And then block. Right? Well, then the next day, that's when the health department showed up, you know, so, which was, what the fuck ever. Yeah, that was no big deal. But anyway, that was, it was dumb.
And I love the fact that it turned into a big nothing burger. She caused all this ruckus, caused all this fuss, got all these people involved. When nothing fucking changed.
And I knew it wouldn't, so I wasn't really worried. That's the thing, I wasn't worried about it. But I wanted to, she wants to be famous, apparently, so I wanted to make sure I spelled her name correctly.
Right.
And everybody knows exactly who she is, so that they can, when they see her out in public, they can know exactly who she is. And, no,
Didn't I see you on Facebook?
Yeah.
I thought we had a connection.
Oh, there's a misconnection for you.
Well, yeah, really. But talk about mental, I mean, in all honesty, like, I feel sorry for somebody like that. She obviously has nothing in her life, like, to fulfill her. And, like, she obviously, she makes these posts and, like, needs that, like, you know, seriously. So that's, but I happen to be the flavor of the fucking week. Well, you fucked with the wrong person. I'm sorry to tell you, like, whatever. But no, I feel bad for someone like that because that's literally.
Don't fuck with a man that has a skeleton on his roof.
Just don't, like, why these people, like, literally like, blast shit and think, like, everyone's going to be on their side. And they're like, do you, like, no. Like,
I'll wait for that to happen at the podcast. You let that motherfucker say that on TV?
Yeah, right.
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm the one that's going to get the kickback. You're just going to be sitting here going,
I'll just make another one.
You left it in.
You left it in. I didn't know that shit.
There's no kickback. No kickback.
Not at all. I need kickback. I need something to boost some numbers. Damn.
Honestly, that's the funny thing is that between that and the shit with the skeleton, it's like I haven't like the past couple months been really slow, right?
Yeah.
Thank God it doesn't matter here, right? So, because I do well on eBay either way. So I prefer if the store was busy, but it's been busier than it's ever been in the past 3 weeks.
I love that
And that's
for you, man.
honestly because all the bullshit and everybody, so it's drawing people. I mean, that's how it works. So,
Well, and I share the secrets and stuff on the show too. I was talking with one of your friends earlier about social media marketing. You found that back end way. You stopped talking about the company and you started sharing the personal things, and you got people to care on that personal level, and now they want to come in and support the shop because they've seen the bullshit you're going through.
yeah, and it's that's the thing I hate. Like, I'm not like when I see other people doing that stuff, I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. So I get it when people see my videos and they're like, fucking Brad again, shut. So I get it. I don't blame you. But it is like the therapy for me.
No, but at the same time, I feel that there's a major difference. It's kind of like, real punk rock versus punk rock brought to you by H&M. You know what I mean? So it's like there is a genuineness to a store like this. You're not, the Best Buy or, the chain store that's bitching and moaning, to the public about, people are being mean to us. Oh, they ran Target out of the neighborhood.
Yeah,
No. You take one step into the spot, you can tell that whoever the fuck runs this place gives a shit. So, yes, exactly what you're saying. The people that come in are going to have your back.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the ones whatever. The ones who don't, there's always going to be, I constantly, if anybody's watching this, I hate the fucking Chamber of Commerce and Whip Radio and the fucking liars and cheaters that run that shit. Anybody who supports that shit, and I'll explain it to anybody all day long.
Chris
I have a Chamber of Commerce story.
Let's hear it.
So, the first restaurant I worked in by accident, I was hungry. I go into a restaurant. The fucking hippy dippy bitch that worked at the back came out in Crocs and shorts. And it was like, hey, because I was filling out an application to be a waiter because the place was right next to the community college I was going to. It's a lot easier to go there.
So this isn't the chamber here. It's just a chamber.
No, it's in the town above here in Statesville.
Oh, so it's Iredell Chamber.
It's Iredell Chamber.
Okay.
Same
all right,
people.
all right,
It's
go
the
on.
same
Yeah.
ilk.
For sure. All right.
Ilk.
Yeah. Yes.
So I filled out the application. I don't even finish it. She takes me back. You know how to make eggs? I was like, I can bake eggs, and that's how I ended up working there.
Right.
Well, next few weeks, I'm working there in the mornings doing breakfast, and the guy that ran it was a very great guy who had small businesses in Statesville and in Mooresville. He was on the up and up on every business he ever had, but he always had to close them. Usually because he didn't do well, the locations were bad, and so eventually he got into the restaurant business, which he loved. So the Chamber of Commerce came knocking, and with a wink and a nod, he's like, you know what? Come, I'll tell you what. We'll host a thing for the Chamber of Commerce one morning. You guys can come here. We'll do breakfast. I got a guy, brand new guy, shows up every day. He can help. He's a bar back at night, so he can help you. We can get everything out. So I show up early. I start pre-cooking a bunch of stuff, getting shit ready. And this is a group of 12. Now, this is a small town cafe for hippies. It was a vegan and vegetarian menu.
Oh, Jesus.
But we did serve, like, bacon and eggs and shit.
Okay.
But that was the crux of the menu.
Sure.
So, I'm not a waiter, but I help serve the food. I'm helping bust the tables. I'm helping her making sure her coffees are filled. I'm helping her out front because she's waiting the big table in the back. Because, a barista is not going to handle a 12-top table on the regular. So when that happens, they need to
They need backup. Yeah.
And it was just me and her in this whole fucking cafe.
Right.
They didn't tip $1.
You didn't do automatic gratuity? Party of 12?
So here's the thing. Our boss said, because she said something, because they didn't tip at all. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, I comped their meal.
Oh, that's even more of a reason to tip.
Okay.
To tip quadruple.
Yeah. So no dollars. I was getting paid hours, so I didn't really give a shit, but it was like $9 an hour. So. But the mayor comes in.
Of Statesville.
Coste Kute. He's from Turkey.
Wow.
Anyway, he came in, got a free meal. Mm-hmm. And I started realizing what was happening. They were coming in and basically strong-arming him on certain things when it came to the town. That's what it seemed like. That's allegedly. But it seems like they were a bit of a fucking mafia of assholes. That they were strong-arming him and they were getting comped food. And eventually he just had to stop because he's going to lose money doing it.
Yeah.
And then he's going to lose patience with the people.
Was he also paying to be a member of the chamber?
He was trying to get into the Chamber of Commerce. And eventually they denied his fucking...
Oh, that's the best thing could ever happen.
At the end of the game, he ended up not being part of it. And I'm like,
you don't want to be a part of it. But,
but like he thought it was going to benefit him later on because like they would leave in groups. They had events they would do constantly. I don't know about the one in Mooresville, but the one in Statesville had like events and stuff. And what's weird is like a Chamber of Commerce isn't part of like the local government really. It's a privatized part of the local government, and it's weird as fuck.
It's a fucking town HOA is what it is. And when Google was invented, it became obsolete.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up. But but I will say this: I used to work at a restaurant where they'd have these big ass church groups that would come in, and they'd leave fucking Jesus pamphlets instead of tips.
Did they ever leave the fake money? With the scripture on it?
Those motherfuckers. Yeah.
No, what you do is you take it back to the church and put it in a plate.
I will give them the benefit of the doubt because I like to do that and see both sides of everything. You got a whole group of people. Everybody might have thought the other person left a tip at the end of the day. Now, but me, I'd be like, hey, I'd make sure. But not everybody's like me. So benefit of the doubt is she probably thought he did. He thought he. So you never know. Like as a server, you always think like malicious and negative. Like when a family leaves, you're like, fuck these people. Well, husband might have thought wife did, and wife maybe thought husband did. They didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
But you don't know, right? So that's the only thing I'm going to say. But I'm certainly not defending them. The problem I have with the Chamber of Commerce. Let's talk about the Chamber of Commerce. So
in the beginning, when government is formed,
the guy who runs
Schoolhouse Rock.
the guy who runs this Chamber of Commerce.
Mini history we forgot episode.
Yeah. I'm just a bail. His name's Kirk, and he's a real estate agent, so he makes money. And he literally, as soon as somebody comes into town here, they solicit him hardcore. So
that's not a conflict of interest at all.
Whip Radio right away. Yeah, exactly. Whip Radio is in the same building as him. The guy who runs Whip Radio, he used to be the mayor. And he actually, there's some dirt on him that publicly you can look it up. So he's just a fucking asshole, scumbag anyway. The first interaction I had with him was him coming in here and telling me he's moving into this building. And, the pictures you have, right? Mm. So he said, or he tried to sell me an airtime, in which I was like, all right. So I don't hold back on anything. So I was like, look, I don't want to shit on your profession, but I'm going to shit on your profession. Like, nobody listens to fucking radio, dude. So sorry to tell you, if you think I'm going to pay for airtime, you're fucking high. So nothing against you, but God bless you. So anyway, he's like, well, we got this new place over here by the chamber. I want to try to decorate it. Would you do a deal on some of your pictures? So pictures are 25 or 2 for 40. So I said, how many pictures? He's like, well, we can do like airtime for like 8 pictures. I said, 8 pictures? I said, they're $25 a piece. And then this is what he had the balls to say. Well, that's not what you pay for them. So that's when I said, it's not your fucking business what I pay for them. And that was our interaction. So that's when I first knew he was a fucking scumbag.
Yeah,
so that didn't do it. Yeah. So then they go around soliciting $450 to join the chamber. And then homeboy tries to get them to sign up for $1,500 for a whole year to be on Whip Radio. So it's not only the fact that they do that, but they have these fake fucking bullshit statistics. We'll do this, we'll do that. You go on any of their social media, not one person fucking cares. Any event they do, nobody fucking goes to.
Yep.
They claim they're going to do a ribbon cutting, and then who shows up? Them and the people who work there. Nobody fucking cares. The last ribbon cutting they did was literally, you look out their window, that's Real 150. Literally 5 feet away. A year fucking later, they did the ribbon cutting. Better late than never. They put on their social media. I'm like, you fucking idiots. So they solicit this shit, and meanwhile, here I am. I do way more for businesses. I have done. I will continue to do for free, just to spite, but also because that's what you fucking do. We all help each other around here.
That's right.
So it's fucking insulting that these assholes, they do nothing in the first place, but then they charge for it, and then they say they're going to do shit, and they don't. So that's what's bullshit. So it's come to like this new pizza place that opened up over here. Right away, I reached out to him. I'm like, dude, Chamber and Whip are going to come and try to fucking grease your ass. Tell them no. He's like, well, I don't know. I'm like, dude, I'm just warning you, okay? Well, what's wrong with them? I'm like, I ain't going to get into it. Well, I'm trying to tell you right now, they're going to solicit you. They ain't going to do shit. I'm going to do way more for your fucking business. For nothing, okay? You want to give me a pizza once? Fine, I don't care.
I'll take a slice.
So they end up going, sure enough, he comes and tells me. They end up going, and he tells them, hey, I've heard some like negative things. And what did they say? Is it that guy Brad from Crazy Cool Collectables?
Oh.
And he goes, don't worry, I didn't out you. I said, bro, you should have fucking outed me. You should have said, yeah, 100% that was him. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like I'm glad I take money away from these fuckers. So
I love that.
So a lot of these people end up calling them and getting their fucking money back because they don't do shit. So, yeah, that building. So getting back to kind of like the government thing, yeah, they don't answer to anybody is the thing. So like nobody's their boss.
No.
So they don't have to prove anything. They don't have to. There's no board meetings. There's no fucking nothing. So literally these fuckers come here. Well, whenever they're here, I don't even know. But they're here. They sit in a fucking office. They don't do a goddamn fucking thing, and they collect all this goddamn money. And they're supposed to be a non-for-profit, and they're supposed to be helping the community. Yeah, we'll help the community if you pay us, and then we still don't help the community. It's a bunch of bullshit.
That.
And that building could be used for a homeless shelter. That building could be used for a community center. It could be used for fucking a lot of things. And it just pisses me off. And every day, I go to another restaurant, and I hear the same fucking story. I won't name the name, but this Mexican restaurant I went to, this guy's fucking awesome. He's been around. What are we going on, like 5 hours?
No. I first time relying strictly on the phone, making sure for
it's
video.
It's still going? Yeah.
It's the first time it's done this long of a video. I know I have plenty of space. I just wanted to make sure it's like keeping.
I like talking to you guys either way. I don't care if fucking recording. No.
Oh no, same here. I
whatever.
was lost in it, and I went, oh shit.
But yeah, this guy's awesome, and he sat down and he told me, without even bringing it up, we were talking about just getting business. Like, how does he get, he's telling me, thank you so much for sharing my posts. People come in here all the time and say that you sent them. I'm like, fucking love that, right? That's what I live for.
Yes.
For free. And it makes me feel good because it's genuine and it is good. And he's like, man, yeah, I signed up for that Chamber of Commerce, and like my partner is really pissed off because they told me they're going to bring in groups and they're going to do this and do that. It's been a year. They haven't done a damn thing. I said, it's funny. Wait, you didn't see my video or you didn't watch my, he's like, no, I didn't see anything. I'm like, that's funny, man. Because I said, I'll tell you what, fucking, he's this big, giant black dude. I said, fucking walk your ass over there and get your fucking money back. And tell him I want a refund. I don't think you can do that. I'm like, yes, you fucking can.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
No. So that's why I continue to talk shit. I will. The dude, his name's Chris from Whip Radio, actually came in here not too long ago and this guy comes in like this. Like I fucking care. And then Chris is like this little bitch with his hat, and they act like they're in the fucking mafia. And he said, hey, I don't know if you know me. I'm Chris. I'm like, yeah, bitch, I know you and you know me. Like, okay, anyway. So he's like, are we okay? And I said, no, we are not okay. And my girlfriend's here. She don't know who the hell this is. And he's like, can we just maybe go out to lunch and talk? I said, absolutely not. We'll never do that. He's like, I'd appreciate it if, whatever problems you have, you don't say things on social media. And I said, well, here's the thing. I can and I will. And you don't intimidate me. And so, yeah, anything else I can help you guys with? So, no. And then the most condescending fucking thing, I really like the place. It's looking good. You're doing a great job. And, if you need any help with anything, just feel free to come to me.
I'm sorry, Mr. Corleone, I do not.
And I was like, fuck you, dude. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's how these, like, fuck you, man. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So it's like, it's not a personal vendetta against them. It's legit.
You have legit reasons.
It's legit. Yeah. They're literally ripping people off.
Yes.
And we don't say anything. We don't do anything. And no one's going to do anything. And it's fucking drives me nuts. So yeah. It's a personal mission of mine to get people to get out of the chamber, which I can name 5 restaurants / places that are continuously, people go there because I've referred them, which I'm very proud of, and that's awesome. And that's how it should be anyway.
Well, I was going to say, most of the time when I see you kick off like some of your videos, you're talking about, it's like, oh yeah, got this sandwich over.
Xander's.
Yeah, it's like, love this place.
That's because that's the mission, because Xander's is, no one would fucking know they're there. They're in the fucking wacky ass spot that's because they're not millionaires, and not everybody can afford to be right, so they got a spot that they can afford. They're the fucking coolest people. I love them. They're like family. Their food is amazing, but no one knows they're there. And does the town do anything to help them? No, not a goddamn thing, right? And they're not considered downtown, so the downtown doesn't help them. So it's like a personal mission. I'm like, it's not hard. You just, like, if one person can do it, like, everybody, just word of mouth, just tell people, take pictures, just help, and then it comes back. Like, that's kind of the whole thing, so.
And just more folks need to be like you, though, because that's the same mentality of, I'm sure you've gone through the whole struggle of, hey, help share the thing, a like and a share costs nothing type thing. It's the same thing. A word of mouth, telling a buddy about a restaurant, telling someone about a store, it costs nothing.
No.
But it can help that restaurant. It can help that shop. It can do so much by that quick word of mouth, as you never know. Someone may walk in and see something they never realized even existed or forgot existed, and bam, you've got a now repeat customer. And it's all because you just went, oh yeah, I went up to this one spot. It was pretty cool. I saw a few things. Go check it out.
Right.
Bam. That's all it takes.
It's not, I mean, I run this business, I run eBay, and I still have time to fucking, it's not hard. It takes 5 seconds to just.
I think actually the first time we came up here, you gave us a restaurant recommendation.
Man.
I think actually one of the first, because we stopped at almost a dinery type spot that was around here.
I don't remember.
Well, there are places that I don't like.
Well, that just makes you a proper connoisseur.
It's not
you have as many things you love.
No, this is important because here's the thing. I'll never talk shit. Even if I had the worst experience, these people don't get it because they don't run restaurants and they fucking care less and they're behind a keyboard, right? But saying something shitty could literally put these fucking people out of business and then ruin their lives. Is that literally what you're trying? Like, these people don't get it, right? I think,
honestly, man, unfortunately, I feel that a lot of people don't get it. Some people do get it. And I think they are malicious enough to be like, no, I had a bad experience. I want this place gone.
Which is fucking, like, like, I get that mentality because if you're not in the business and you don't know, it's kind of like this. If you've never been in the service industry, those are two types of people. People who've been in the service industry, people who haven't. Yep. Like, literally all there is. Here's the deal. If you've never been in the service industry, you are a fucking asshole. I mean, bottom line. Because you don't get it. I don't necessarily hate you, but you don't get it because you've never had to deal in that situation. Mm-hmm. You don't get, like, you don't talk to fucking people like that when you're not better than them. They're human just like you. When you're at Walmart, when you're buying a car, when you're wherever, you don't fucking talk to people like that.
Oh, I have hardcore agreed with the fact that everyone needs at least 2 years retail experience and 1 year kitchen experience, and then you're allowed to deal with the general public.
Yeah, just a service thing. But it's the internet, and you're not going to win and change everybody's mind. And I get it, but that's the thing. I genuinely don't like places, and I have no problem telling people here and whatever. But I'll never publicly. No. I've given constructive criticism because I feel like I've been in the restaurant business my whole life. I have the background. So I've given constructive criticism about Meadows Italiano. I'll bring up that name. They did some silly shit with one of their sandwiches that kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. And it was really like, I told everybody about it. And then all these people are like, what the hell? They don't have it. And I'm like, you're really fucking mad at me. I don't give a shit, right? But literally it was kind of like the way they handled it was kind of like if I ran the restaurant. So basically, they had this Chicago-style Italian beef sandwich that I tried, and it was fucking phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It was so goddamn good that I had to make a post, and it blew up, and people were like, "Oh my god!" And everyone's like, "Is it really that good?" Well, everyone goes there and they don't have it. So I went there. I'm like, "Okay, this is probably a fluke." I went there and I said, "I'll order it," and they're like, "Yeah, we don't have it." I said, "What do you mean you don't have it?" It's right there in like a felt,
Yeah.
It's right there. If you go on their website, it's on there. Okay, so I made a constructive criticism. I said, look, if I ran a restaurant and I didn't have something, it would not be on the menu. And if it's something that I knew was kind of popular, I would actually make an announcement on my Instagram, Facebook, or website. Sorry, this is not available. That's Restaurant 101, right? Well, their answer was, well, someone else runs our website. I said, that's more of a fucking reason that you should email this person in 5 seconds and make sure that, especially if you have just one person coming in upset, but there's at least 10 that are upset that you don't have this. Well, and then it's the explanation of why they don't have it. I don't need the explanation why you don't fucking have it. Well, because we can't keep up. That's fine, but then it's kind of like when you have you're open, but you have the close sign and you're not here.
Yeah. Well, just tell people.
Put on the fucking. There was a restaurant we went to, and I messaged them and I said, oh, I'm sorry, we went to the coast because we were picking up fresh seafood. Well, put that as a fucking note on the door so people know. Like, how do you run a goddamn restaurant and you're just going to close early and not even fucking, you don't put anything on social media or not?
No,
it's mind-blowing to me. So, yeah, so I wasn't trying to trash them. Their food is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But the practice of doing that, that's like, do they not understand? Like, that could literally damage the reputation. You got 10 people that are literally going, fuck this place because they say they have this and they don't. So if you don't care, well, don't go crying when you go out of business and shit. When you do dumb shit like that, that's all I'm saying.
Either bring the sandwich back or make a post. Just
or
do
say
one of the
something.
two.
That's all I said. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, again, I don't have a problem with them, I'm happy for them. Whatever. So, but that's, I don't know. That kind of shit bothers me. It really does.
With good reason. There's good reason for that.
You're wasting your time. That's something you never get back.
Yeah, but it's like you got all these. How many? Okay, do you understand what it takes to open a restaurant, run a restaurant, right? The money, the time,
the debt,
everybody that's in there, and you put all this shit in there. But then you advertise you have a sandwich, and then you just it's like not a big deal. That's a huge deal.
It's not paying attention to those fine details.
It's petty, but it's not. Like that's the kind of shit where people will go, I'm never going back to this restaurant again. And like if you go, fuck them, I don't want them anyway. Well, then what are you gonna expect when you close down?
That's right up here with I'm sorry, sir, the ice cream machine is broken.
Bullshit.
If only McDonald's would like put their flag at half staff so you know before you pull up. If they put it at half staff, that way you know ice cream, no ice cream.
Here's the inside of that. Okay.
I know you're about to say the company that licenses the machines to McDonald's.
Well, maybe, but the other inside of it is you have dumbasses there who don't know how to refill it.
Yeah.
So that's just their excuse. So either they're not going to say they ran out of the fucking mix. They're not going to say we don't know how to refill it. They're going to say it's not working. Yeah. So that's most of the time. Mm-hmm. Or simple fucking shit that you could, restaurant business. That's the thing. I took, I did everything. So I learned how to fix shit, so that we could save money and not have to call somebody for certain things.
So that's the big loophole.
Right.
So of all the items McDonald's has, they own their grills, they own their fridge and refrigerators. They don't own the ice cream machines. They lease them from a larger company. And that larger company has a clause that McDonald's or any of the associates are not allowed to make modifications.
Oh, well, they can't touch it. Well, there you go. So
bingo.
If there's something stupid wrong with it, then they could probably just clean it. They don't. They can't.
It locks up, and they go, it has to get serviced. And then it's up to the franchise owner to pay for it and get it done. So if that location has not had a good month, they're more than likely going to leave the ice cream machine down.
That makes sense.
Because they can't afford to call whatever company it is and have them come out and do click, it's fixed.
Well, here's a reason that they're smart, because notoriously ice cream machines fucking break. Mm-hmm. Well, it's like a pinball machine.
Right.
Like there's constant maintenance. Oh, that's what I'm saying. So that's ice makers, same thing. Mm-hmm. There's always fucking problems with those things. So that makes sense why they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So.
I think, but I think it became such a thing. They're making moves to I think the license agreement with that company, like the contract's coming up, and I think they're gonna reinstall new machines. That way they can have their own service techs fix it.
That's a notorious process too, because that happens where I work.
Really?
I work in a factory, and we have these automated pallet jacks made by Toyota. Mm-hmm. Toyota only shows up 3 times a year to service them.
So what if it goes down?
Then we set it to the fucking side. If it can move.
Jesus
because keep in mind, it's an electric fucking pallet jack. So
it'll lock.
It'll weigh about 500 fucking pounds and die. So we have to move
That's
it out
how I'm
of the way.
trying to go out.
Yeah, then you're doing less work, right? Less efficiency and all that shit?
No, your job still exists.
Well, I know that. You're not putting out what you're supposed to be putting out.
Well, you use a manual jack.
Oh my God.
So, but if you got somebody like me who can move 1,200 pounds on a manual pallet jack, it's fine. But if you got someone like my partner who's 5 foot tall and a woman, yeah, she ain't moving that shit.
Yeah, but what if you get hurt doing it?
Oh, well.
Workman's comp.
Yeah. we still got that.
Yeah, right.
You'll know if he gets workman's comp because he'll come in and we'll be like, all right, I see some posters I want.
Just get over the wheelchair. Hey.
Yeah, no, that's...
I got my throne.
I am a real couch brotato.
That's hilarious. I do have a customer. I haven't seen him in a while, but cool guy from the military, got a couple kids, and always buying Pokemon. And I didn't see him for the longest time, and I saw him at Food Lion. I'm like, dude, how you been? I haven't seen you. I was like, yeah, man, I got a bad accident at work. So he showed me. So he a forklift fucking damn near tore off his leg.
Yeah.
And he said it was like fucking hanging. And I looked and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like pins and they put it all back together. Well, anyway, it was negligence. So he's like, he told me straight up, I got a settlement for $600,000, tax free. So he's like, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be buying some stuff. I'm like, well, cool. But I was like, dude,
Are you okay?
Well, that's what I said. But I also said, I'm like, congratulations, because he's a single dad. Yeah. And I'm like, and he was trying to start. He's like, I've always wanted to start my own business. Now I'm gonna do it. I'm like,
hell yeah.
I don't know. Do you say congratulations? But yeah, that shit happens.
Wow.
I mean, his leg was fucked. It was the most disgusting thing I ever seen in my life.
You know, like a few of the factories I've worked, the safety is tippy fucking top now because of shit like that.
Yeah,
like
it's gotta be.
Like our guys who drive forklifts, if they love tap that motherfucker against something, like it makes a noise, and then they are walked out. They are fired on the spot. That is not a joke.
Sure.
Wow.
If you get caught,
Standards are very high. Yeah, they have to be.
But like
It'll ruin the business.
we wear cut gloves if we use a box cutter. If you get caught doing that, no, you're out the door. Like with a box cutter,
Wow.
you're out like the goddamn Taliban. You're out. Can't be walking around with a top cutter. Oh, really? Fucking nilly.
Where's your gloves?
I get it. I
And
mean,
like you know, and I can understand. I had my mom's cousin got killed by a guy on a forklift because he got hit by a forklift and he died.
Jesus.
And so like that is very true. Like safety standards have gone way the fuck up because of stupid shit like that, and they should always be there.
Yeah.
But I almost got hit by a forklift. Guy was drinking at one place I was working because I was catering at a factory.
Yeah.
And I was catering at a factory, and it was nighttime, and there was a lane you walked because it was a place that made trucks, 18-wheelers. So I had to walk across basically the service area to get to the parking lot, and it's outside, it's raining, it's dark, and a guy comes flying by, and he finally sees me because he's spinning around. He's like, "Oh fuck, brother, I'm sorry," and he hops out.
don't you supposed to honk? Well,
You're supposed to do a lot of things.
well, supposed to beep whenever
I'll tell you what he was supposed to do. What he didn't do
Jesus
was
Christ.
he turned around. He's like, "Oh man," still sitting in the forklift, not giving a shit. He's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry." And you know the little igloo coolers.
Yeah.
He reaches back, pulls out a tall boy, takes the old tall boy out, chucks it behind some pallets, puts a new one in. Psh, "Hey man, you be safe tonight," and fucking drives off. I'm just like, "You fucking piece of shit." Because I just like I said, I had a cousin who was murdered by a forklift. So like almost getting hit by a forklift is a goddamn problem for me.
scary.
Yeah.
Some Final Destination shit,
Yeah,
man.
seriously. That's scary shit.
Yeah. But as someone who drove a forklift, yeah, it's very easy to clip somebody with one of the motherfuckers.
Oh, I'm
You're
sure.
like, I've seen both sides.
I've almost hit a couple people.
Well, the warehouse, the place I worked in Chicago, you're talking 500,000 square feet. I mean,
Yeah.
fucking huge. And
you get them standing lifts, and they fucking move.
the scissor ones, and but they literally like the major procedure.
Not about the standing forklifts.
Oh, those. Yeah.
The ones that Amazon have, they move the fuck on, boy.
Oh yeah. Oh, because they go all the way up to the top and pull.
Yeah,
And,
but you're in a standing position, and you're just like, "Oh, where do I need to go? Let me just turn around."
Yeah, because you worked at Amazon for like, what, a week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Concord.
I was a driver.
In Concord.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was a driver. What a fucking system. Because you're not actually an Amazon employee. You're third
Independent.
party.
Yeah.
Third party.
You're
You're third party.
independent
You don't
contractor.
actually work for Amazon, but you work for Amazon.
See, he's a bigger man than me. He lasted 2 weeks. I didn't even make it through the front door because they wrote me in with that whole like $1,000 sign-on bonus shit, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, your boy could really use $1,000 in his bank account. I go there, I take the bus. When I tell you this place is set up like a fucking penitentiary,
Oh, for sure. It's like a puppy mill.
oh my god, it's insanity.
I say
Thank
nuts.
God, thank
Yeah, but if you're a fucking, it's like a perfect place for like a, whatever. I'm gonna be racist. Like a Hispanic person that like is just a hard worker and just wants a job, like a steady
Yeah.
job. Like that's
Just
they're not gonna
someone that-
complain. And it's
It's
just
like the factory worker that's
right.
always worked
It's
factories
perfect
their
for them.
entire life.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy that trained me for Amazon was a very athletic white guy who made the Olympic trials for the rushing sambo fighting for America. He quit because he said it was too strenuous on his body.
Wow.
Being a driver. Because of all the up and down you got to do. And plus,
The Amazon truck thing is what blew my mind when you were breaking me down on that.
so like Amazon has a what's called an eye finder on the mirror. Even though that mirror doesn't need to be there because you can't see behind you.
Right.
But it watches your eyes. But our contract bosses were like, you can wear sunglasses.
But it would track your eyes to see if you were looking at your phone, if you had distracted vision, if you were like doing the whole like look both ways before you drive type shit.
And like it demoted, like it was like demerits onto you.
I mean, you have to. Don't you have to look at not your phone, but you have to look down.
Well, you have a phone.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, you have to get out of the car a certain way every time, and the car monitors that. So you have to stop, put it in park, turn it off, unbuckle your seatbelt, grab the phone.
Yeah, they do turn it off every time. You're right.
But like, get out of the vehicle, grab the package, close the vehicle, deliver the package. Now, that's fine if you have like 100 packages. It's not fine when you have 212 packages and they send you, whoever makes the route is a fucking idiot. It's automated. It's an automated route. But like, I'm like my first.
You'll go
stop,
back a fucking block away like an hour later.
Yeah, but like, I'll go to this neighborhood for a little bit and I'll be stuck in this neighborhood for hours. And then I'll have to go to these businesses that are closing, even though they say on their account, hey, I need this here by such this time. That's never going to happen with the amount of time you're spending.
Right.
And then you go to deliver the fucking package, they're closed. So now you got to bring it back with you, which is a demerit to you. And then you're going back to that fucking neighborhood. Like the neighborhood all should be.
Yeah.
Well, and they don't consider like life. Like things in the way and
no, you're Amazon
and red lights and shit like that.
You're Amazon.
Yeah.
You should have a red light fixer like the ambulances.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. All I gotta say is thank God I never will have a real job.
But I will say the only,
and I'm fucking like so happy and proud of you for that.
Well, thank you.
That's like because seriously, it's something literally today because we started up a little early because we knew we wanted to get here closer to closing time so we didn't interfere with commerce. But one of the things we did is we stopped at Second and Charles on South Boulevard in Charlotte, and the shopping strip next to it was one of the smoke shops I initially started at before I got moved to manager to where I am now. In that strip mall, there's like 2 or 3 vacant spots, and I was telling him, I was like, man, one day. And he's just like, what? I was like, I want to open a fucking shop, man. I want to fucking do it. And I always have, but it's like, as soon as I came back in here, like what he said about 6-7 months ago, it honestly sparked it back up again because, of course, there's plenty of stuff in here I wouldn't want to carry, but the vibe and the aesthetic and the amount of you that is in here was very inspiring.
Oh, I love that.
And that made me just be like, I want to make a me store. I want to sell all the things that I like.
And you can.
I know.
I tell everybody. I think we had this conversation when I first met you.
We did. I'm fighting my zero bank account, trying to get those YouTube subscribers up so we can get monetized.
Well, look, that's the thing. I'm lucky because I had money, right? So because I saved money, right? So not everybody. But it wasn't given to me, right? So,
and I'm not a victim of anything. I made my fucking choices. I decided to sink every single penny I had into being in a band. That's why I don't have a car.
Right.
And my joke for the longest time was like, why don't you have a car? I'm like, I have a band. The amount of car payment I make a month is how much I'm sinking into this band.
Right.
Like I want to make this
Which
shit
is,
work.
see, and I, being a drummer, and I have respect for that. That's the thing. I never took those risks.
Yeah.
Right? So my band always wanted to go on the road, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not going to live. I know it sounds awesome living like a fucking scumbag in a bus and
It's
like having a
not
good
fun.
time. No, at first it is, like, right? But then it's like, well, first of all, I need a CPAP machine. You can't be anywhere near me or you'll fucking want to kill me because of the noise I make. And I'm fucking, I'm like spoiled when it comes to food and all this other shit. I can't live like that. But that's what I'm saying. So there's like mutual respect. Trust me. Like, like the hustlers that are out there not making money because they're doing what they love and they genuinely love it. And I think it's fucking awesome, you know?
Just as you also know, the tough thing with a band is you have to have at least 3 other people on the same fucking page.
Well, that'll never happen.
It never fucking happens.
No.
So that's why I kind of pivoted to where it's just like, okay, cool, podcast. Like, I can at least find one other person to do something with it. And even if he's busy for months, I can do stuff by myself.
Right.
I don't have to rely on nobody to do my shit. Sure. And that's so...
No, history of the world, other than... The only band I can think of at the top of my head is like Red Hot Chili Peppers that literally like have been friends since they were kids and like they've always gotten along and always been best friends,
and
right?
Honestly,
I can't even think of anybody else.
The only other modern band I can think of that started with a lineup, and they only changed a drummer after their first EP, but ever since like their very first record, they've had the same lineup. Green Day.
I was just gonna say Green Day. Yeah, because they're all three of them are friends from high school.
Yep.
Same thing. Yeah, and they're all still like best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. It does happen.
They're still like making new companies together. Like they got a coffee company together now.
That band also, like, I never was a big fan, but I have the respect. Like 30 years later, they put out like
too.
Dookie was fucking amazing, right? And well, I don't know if you guys are even alive yet, but
I was.
Okay, yeah. So Dookie was, was a big album, and then like 30 years later, they come out with American Idiot, and it's fucking awesome. And like bands don't do that. It was crazy.
Well, see, and I had that weird thing of, it's like, I was born 92, so it's like, I remember when American Idiot came out, and that sounded like very different, but I remember getting it day one of it coming out, and we couldn't escape hearing like Holiday and Boulevard of Broken Dreams on the radio. Like, Mom appreciated it, but her love was still like 70s and 80s punk, new wave, funk and shit like that. And I just remember turning to her one time, we were in the car, and like Holiday was playing, and I was like, one day this is going to be considered classic rock, Mom.
Oh, God,
and of course, she was just like, shut up, no it's not. She's like poking at the radio, changing the station, and all that. And it was so fucking surreal last October when Green Day released the 20th anniversary of American Idiot box set.
That's not, yeah.
And it's like, I found my CD and I snapped a photo of it, sent it to Mom. I was just like, what do you know? 20 years later, your boy was right. This is considered classic rock. Fucking rock radio.
Pearl Jam, now. Nirvana, Soundgarden, that's all classic rock. It's fucking nuts.
It's, oh God, that's...
We had to think about whether or not Weezer is a grunge band. And I said no, because the singer's still alive.
Yeah, correct. But they're never, I think grunge is a sound though. They're more like a fucking happy,
My mentality...
Loved them though. I mean,
my mentality was grunge was a mindset. And Weezer still had a...
Yeah, they were like emo before emo, basically.
And grunge came out of
grunge was Nirvana.
Depression.
I mean, Dave Grohl invented grunge.
Yeah, but
so
would you not say that grunge still kind of was birthed out of the depression of the, climate and how fucking gloomy and everything was to start with?
But yes, but I would say it's Seattle-based.
Right.
So again, Pearl Jam, like all those guys, that's grunge was a Seattle thing.
Right.
I think. But yeah,
I agree.
No,
trust me, we can get in a music debate all day. That's a whole separate episode.
But yeah, I just said, the singer's still alive. They're not grunge. Eddie Vedder is the fucking Highlander of fucking grunge. It could be only one.
I designed a T-shirt. I just never...
He killed all of those motherfuckers. So he's the last one.
I love Eddie Vedder, and Chicago guy. One time, I was at a Cubs game, and there was like there always is, a homeless dude like chilling in the street and playing guitar and singing, and then I remember seeing on the news that Eddie Vedder was like, I literally walked right past him. That was him. He does that kind of shit. So yeah, I mean, mop, hat down, just kind of playing and singing. Didn't sound like him, but I just remember seeing the news that like, Eddie Vedder made a surprise thing. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I was literally right there. Like, God damn it.
I should have stuck around for a couple minutes.
Well, one of the, I've met so many fucking people. One of the people I loved him, met him. I've never met that dude before, so.
That's awesome, though. Well, I would actually say this has been a pretty solid episode. I think we're
everyone
about like
people
2
are texting me.
hours
Are you okay? Are you alive?
Be like, I'm having fun with new friends.
Right.
Damn it!
No, seriously. No, this is awesome for sure.
But you are having an event coming up.
Yes.
Yes, Sunday.
So hopefully when this episode comes out, it'll be in 2 days. Hopefully this will be coming out on a Friday if I can get shit edited and fixed fast enough so people will still have 2 days to come out.
And I will. Yeah, it'll be like a shareable video, obviously.
Yes,
I'm guessing.
It'll be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that good
I'll
stuff.
share shit all over the place. It'll be awesome. Hopefully.
And I'm still going to try to come out. I know he's going to have to work, but I took my sister up here a couple weeks ago. She fell in love with the place.
I'm like, yeah, he brought his girlfriend. He's like, no, his sister. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
It's fine. No, it's fine.
Well, no, because you told me you were single recently, too. So
Yes.
I forgot about that. So I should have known better.
No. But no, she's fallen in love with this place. And
Awesome.
Initially, I was trying to take her to the retro place I was over. I mean, the
mall.
The vintage mall.
Oh, okay.
Over there,
Yeah.
but they had
right.
the power outage.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Well, so have you ever been to the event? You've been to this? So this will be the 4th time I've done it.
This is the first time I think this will be the first time we've known you since you've had one.
Well, so it'll blow your fucking mind. So there's going to be like 100 vendors. I mean, easily.
Wow.
So the last time was at the bowling alley right before the holidays, which everyone begged me to do, and then no one fucking showed up. And I had to charge money for it. So I hated that. So I ended up actually buying everybody lunch because I felt so bad that I had to charge them.
Right.
But yeah, everyone's like, dude, holiday, and no one showed up. You're right. So whatever. The time before that, there was supposed to be a storm. So everybody ditched out. All the vendors, nobody came here. And then it got dark and not a storm. So I'm like, this is bullshit. So but the first time that we did it was my 2-year anniversary. Or it could be my 1-year anniversary. I don't know. But anyway, there was like 70 vendors and every single person like sold out.
Wow.
Like it was fucking nuts. There were more people in the store that were allowed to be legally, I'm pretty sure, the entire day from 12 to 5. I couldn't move.
Don't let your fan know about that.
No, yeah. I hope she shows up. But no, so the weather is supposed to be good, which means, and I've been promoting this since December. I usually do it like only a couple weeks. Like I always, marketing thing. You put it on Marketplace and you put it out there and everyone, they hear it, and then they fucking don't care. But I've been promoting it really hard. So yeah, it's going to probably be pretty insane. And there's going to be... Man, well, you met Justin, his beef jerky, and dude, there's gonna be so much cool shit here. Like, it's gonna blow your mind. Like,
I'm
much
excited.
cool shit.
I'm definitely. I feel like I'll be able to talk her into it. I feel like I'll be able to make it happen.
I hope
I'll
so.
definitely want to.
I love. There's a lot of little kids. That's the thing. That's why it's free because, well, it's free to just be an asshole to other people who charge, honestly. But no, it's given the opportunity for these people that, if you charge $50 for a table, a lot of these people have shit. They're not even gonna make $50.
No.
So they're not gonna want to do it, and then they get depressed. And so, like, having it for free is just awesome. Everybody's laid back, has a good time, doesn't care. If you don't sell anything, you met a few people. Like, who cares? You wasted a little bit of time. So a food truck will be here. Mr. Softy ice cream will be here. There's gonna be like 10 lemonade stands are gonna be here.
Hell yeah.
Dessert people, clothes, jewelry, comic books, Pokemon. I mean, you fucking name it. They're gonna have everything. So,
Yes.
yeah,
it.
It's gonna be cool. So anyway, yeah.
Well, hell yeah, man. So again, thank you so much for coming on. I have a feeling this is not going to be the only time we have you on the
I hope
network. And a couple different factors, I hope, at some point.
For sure.
But yeah, so make sure you guys do the subscribe, like, share, do all that bullshit. You know the drill. And Chris, do you have any sort of final thoughts for us?
What's the best horror movie for you?
Ooh.
The best horror movie?
The best. Because we're both fans of horror.
Okay, so, all right, well, so I'll start with this. I think I told you this, the first Silver Bullet was the first one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So that was my first horror movie that got me, that was young Corey Haim in the scooter. It might have been before or after he got molested, I don't remember. So, but anyway.
It was way before the Viper Room, that's for sure.
Well, but was it before Lucas, which I know you know Lucas, which supposedly with Charlie Sheen raped him in that.
Yeah.
So anyway, here's the one movie that...
So you're scared of Busey. So you have a natural fear of Busey.
But that werewolf is fucking crazy.
Perfect.
It's scary. It's terrifying. Yeah. So it depends on what you. So basically, the one movie that I can't watch because it's so fucked up and it makes me cringe is Hostel. And it's really, I love it, but the ends where he slices his fucking
Achilles. Yeah.
that shit. I can't. I'm cringing right now thinking about it.
I went to the theaters
That shit fucked me up.
Yeah.
In theaters? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That shit fucked me up. I mean, I'll be honest. So but that movie is just so fucking well written. It's so awesome, and
it's Eastern European horror.
But yeah, like otherwise nothing really phases me. If I had to like pick like the most, like I'm a From Dusk Till Dawn fan. Like
2 movies in one.
I mean, I remember when they promoted it, there was nothing about vampires.
No,
so
this is about 2 running gun guys,
didn't even
Quentin Tarantino and George Clooney.
Fucking genius. And then all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck is going on in this movie? And it's fucking awesome, right? And it's just, if I had to pick like one, because I'm not traditional Michael Myers or any of that shit. I don't give a fuck. I'll watch that stuff, but I like the clever stuff. I like the really over the top fucked up shit.
Oh yeah.
But if it's a stupid fucking movie, then it's like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Another thing,
If that makes sense.
Another thing we relate on. One of the worst movies, best but worst movies I ever saw. I can't remember the name of it, but the premise is this Karen, like business type lady kidnaps these kids by like a ruse or whatever, and they have these little implants on the back of their neck. She works for this fragrance company, and she found out that the natural fear pheromone and pain pheromone that exudes from our body is irresistible when mixed with X, Y, and Z. So, the only way to get out of this room is to inflict pain on each other until you fill the vial up. If you try to yank the vial out, it's connected directly to your brainstem, so it's going to yank it out and you're dead. So the only way out is to fill it up. So it's literally a movie of people having to like rip fingernails up and put fucking irons to chests.
What the hell is this? I never heard of it.
It was on Netflix years ago, and it was very enticing. Like, it was very
Is it
fun.
Scent of Fear?
I almost keep wanting to say vile.
See, now stuff's coming to me. I love the Saw series. I
Yeah.
think they're fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. I love that whole thing. Oh God, what was the other one?
And like I said, it's a fun movie. It's not well written. The acting's kind of bad in it, but just like, I can't stand that stuff. I can watch someone's head getting blown off, someone getting sawed in half.
Yeah.
Do not show me someone getting their fingernail bitten off or a hand getting mutilated.
When it's like real, it's fucked.
I can't deal
with
with
13
that.
Ghosts is another one that I mean, 13 Ghosts is just, again, it's like genius. Like the whole, they're supposed to do like a backstory of all the 13 Ghosts on Netflix. There've been talks of it.
I've heard that on HBO.
People would love to have that, like the backstory of all the actual ghosts. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, if I had to pick one that I like truly love, I mean, Quentin Tarantino and Dusk Till Dawn is always going to be like
Dusk Till
one
Dawn
of my
is
best.
One of the best double features you get.
What's the movie that got you?
What got me?
Because again, everyone has their when watching a movie.
What that got me was so fucking simple.
Yep.
Is Amityville Horror, because I watched it when I was a child.
Yeah.
And there's a scene, like, so shit hasn't gone bad in the movie yet, except the place is kind of being haunted.
Right.
And like, there's a scene, and it's a very simple trick. One of the girls looks out the window, turns, and then looks back out the window, and there's a set of eyes looking at her. And I'm just like, God damn it.
But it's because
as a child.
Because I was going to say, you watch it now, and you're like, whatever.
Yeah, but that one got me.
I will say one last thing.
That and the sound when, all right, so in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original movie, there's a noise the hammer makes when it hits that boy in the skull.
Yes.
And
it's
a wet noise.
Yes.
And I'm just like, you get that twinge in the back of your neck, kind of like your dad's coming down the hall to whoop your ass.
Because you think, you think like what is it going to happen to me? Like, what would it feel like? That's
Yeah.
So this one movie on Netflix really fucked me up. It was called The House That October Built.
Fucking fantastic movie.
Bro,
fucking love
it. Yeah, it was like Blair Witch style, right?
Yeah, the POV horror movie. They go see. It's kind of like making fun of McCamey Manor.
When that fucking girl is just like on the bus there.
Yeah.
And I know it's fake, but it's still, that shit fucked me up. Like, it really did. It's so random and stupid. But I remember Googling, like, what's the most fucked up movie, and that was one of the top 5. And I looked at some of the other ones, and the previews looked shitty. So I'm like, all right, these guys are going around, seeing about fucked up shit at haunted houses. I'm like, this is awesome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie fucked me up. So I'm glad you saw it. It's fun. You guys, anytime I talk to anyone, they've never seen anything that I've told them. So I'm glad you guys, we share the love
Well,
of.
anytime, like, so, just a quick thing. Fucked up movie. You have bad horror movies that can bother you on a sensory level, like Hostel, House of October. Then there are movies that should never have been made because of the content they are presenting.
Right.
Like Mondo Cane was not a good idea at the time because the directors almost got murdered because of it. Like, Cannibal Holocaust is a fun idea until you go to Italy and they're just like, did you fucking kill people, you piece of shit? Or 120 Days of Sodom, Silo, the original Martyrs. These movies are in a league of their own because they're not horror.
What's the one not Siberian?
A Serbian
Serbian film. Yeah.
That is like dead fucking far away from the movies I've just listed to.
You've been listening to the Something Good Network. If you liked what you heard, you can follow us on Instagram, and check out the other great shows on the network. Link is in the episode description.